This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast. Fuck, how did the intro go? A podcast that when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
Oh, I'm supposed to be Paul.
I'm Rob.
And like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are the host of tonight's episode.
If you haven't turned us off already by now, you're in for a fucking treat tonight.
It's a new decade, guys. I'm allowed
it's
to
not
make
a
one
year.
mistake.
It's not a new
right.
fucking decade yet.
No.
There was no
It's
year
the
zero.
beginning
That's
of
subjective.
a new decade.
That's
right.
It's just like people saying
I know. It
Isn't
didn't
that
start with
correct, though?
the
it
year
starts
zero.
With, it
I know.
It starts with the year.
Exactly.
It started with the year one.
Right.
So this
next,
doesn't count. This is nothing.
Yeah, this is 2020. There's no year zero. This is the last year of the
Nah.
Nah. Teach their own.
decade. Nah, fool.
Nah. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I
No,
never thought about that. You're
makes a
actually
valid
right.
point.
You were fucking right.
Yeah, you start
I'm
off
very
with-
disappointed
With
now.
year
Fuck
one, no,
this.
it's year zero, right? No, it's year
You don't
one.
start off with year zero. I mean, you
Right.
start off with this is the one because and even then, I mean, when calendars and record keeping started, we don't know like where they were. You know, like
Exactly.
it was all guesswork up until a certain point. Until so it's.
Well, let me ask you guys something real quick. I know.
No.
You know. Recently, how people say it's incorrect. They say Happy New Year's. It's Happy New Year, right?
I never heard him say with the nest, like
No,
plural.
people say like Happy New
You're
Year's.
hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah.
No,
I never-
people say that. Like
Happy
I'm just
New
saying
Year's?
it's wrong. It's Happy New Year.
Right, it's Happy New
But
Year.
see,
To me,
but then
Mexicans you're
but then the
hanging
day
out with.
before, the day before it's referred to New Year's Eve, right?
It's
I
the
said
new,
that-
it's because it's
Right,
possessive.
is that correct?
Possessive,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's possessive. So it's the New Year's. The new year owns the eve. New
Okay,
Year's.
that makes
Eve.
sense because I saw it on my calendar. I was like, "You fucker!" Now
Yeah.
you're confusing me.
It's
like
it
saying-
could be both. It could be New Year Eve,
yeah. And
But
I just
then-
never heard. I heard. New
but you
Year's
say
Eve.
New Year's Eve, and the apostrophe s makes it a possessive.
like Buckle
no,
Bunny.
it's not. Without it'd be okay. I get you.
It's
'cause
Buckle
it's
Bunny by
apostrophe.
Eureka Heights or Eureka Heights' Buckle Bunny. Same concept, right?
Okay.
yeah, or Jake's
The
Jake's
snakes.
jacket.
Yeah.
I regret talking about this. I feel confused.
The English lesson, the grammar
I
Nazis.
know I failed fucking
Raph?
English so bad.
Where's Raph?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
I was
man.
trying to get him to come out, but he's hustling. He's slinging AirPods for money. I'm serious.
Yeah.
He's
Fake
got a new
AirPods?
niche. It's legitimate. It's real, but
real?
it's crazy because it's
Are they cheap?
Um,
Are they real?
they're legitimate. They're supposed like it's got the he showed me the box. It's like
So they
an
fell
Apple
off
product.
the back of a truck.
I don't know. Like he's getting it from this other guy and he's selling it for like $100.
So shady.
Yeah.
It works.
Hey, this
It's,
is-
I,
this-
I,
if
I
they're-
opened it brand new. Like I checked it out.
This
It
is
connects.
Gentlemen's No
you know.
Class. All right, guys.
This
Okay.
is super. Raph is the one that puts the no class in the
Oh
gentleman
yeah,
no
that's
class.
my baby.
So what's new, everybody?
What's new,
It's
Pushy
been
Cat?
a year, right?
Everybody,
Or New Year.
Yeah,
It's New Year, new me.
Yeah.
not a decade.
For like 5 minutes.
Rob,
Yeah,
Rob
done with
busted the
that.
balls on that or bubble. So I got to wait till next year to officially say, hey, it's a new fucking decade.
So I read a deal that was like, if you're, our age, born in the 80s,
Oh,
that
yeah.
means you've lived through 4 or 5 different decades, 2 millennia, 2 centuries.
Well, we haven't got a new decade, apparently. according
What
to
about the
you.
ones prior?
Well, I mean, like the baby boomers, I guess. Yeah, but
Boomer.
whatever, boomer.
Yeah, okay, boomer. Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. I saw that too. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
that is
We've
interesting.
Hey, did you guys see the fucking moon too?
Yeah, it's full moon tonight.
Man, full moon tonight.
I don't know. I haven't been out of the house in a while.
Oh
so-
well,
No.
it's pretty. It's like
just
Star
kidding.
Wars
I
moon.
haven't-
Basically, yeah, it is. It's
Wars
like
moon.
fucking. It's huge.
What's that vitamin D? You need to get some, man.
I know. I need to get out and get
I
some.
think it's E
Is
for
it E?
sun,
No, vitamin D that's Sunny D. It's vitamin D.
but the sun. It's
Yeah, vitamin D.
Oh, I thought it was E.
No,
I thought it was
D.
E.
That's strike 20, man.
What
You got one more.
for me?
Yeah.
We're counting.
No.
No, if we were counting.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Oh man.
So I went to we haven't. This is our first podcast of the new year. We'll just say new year instead of new decade. But we I went over to Eureka Heights and picked up some fresh goodies from our good friends over there, Evan and.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get Chris on the podcast. Like, he was over there. We were kind of BSing a little bit as I was waiting. Evan was trying to find the shirt that he had held on for me since the Astros were in the playoffs.
Nice.
And he actually had it. So,
Who's Chris?
So shout out to Evan. Chris, he's one of the other guys who works there.
You want to serve us beer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on, man.
With the beard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That guy
So
seems cool
I
as shit.
remember him. Yeah.
yeah. So we gotta. I think we could bring him on the podcast, maybe with or without Evan. It doesn't matter. But he's got some pretty cool stuff. We throw some ideas around and stuff. But anyway, I was over there getting stuff and got some of their Wicked Awesome, which I think is off the shelves now, which is too bad because the Mu Caliente is on shelves right now. That's their seasonal. I got some of that too, but that Wicked Awesome is so good. And I picked up their last 2 crowlers from Halloween.
That's a huge freaking
I
beer,
know,
man.
it's like a fucking
It's,
Foster's style beer.
It's the ones that they brewed for Halloween when they transformed into Duff, and it is. We got the blue squishy, which is a blue raspberry sour, and the red squishy, which is a wild cherry sour. So I don't like sours, but we're gonna sample these. We're probably not gonna drink all of them, and somebody's gonna be mad at me for pouring them out because I don't think I can.
That's a shame. I wish I
Yeah.
could drink all of it. Oh well.
Challenge accepted, sir.
Oh, you're gonna drink all?
No, I gotta drive freaking home.
These
Challenge accepted, sir.
They're only 5% ABV.
Oh, that's nothing.
So
damn it.
speaking of The
Rip
Simpsons, I had a really, really cool experience, and we were talking about this earlier. My daughter's birthday is the 4th of January.
Oh, nice.
Does
So
she
close
get,
to mine.
like,
I didn't know that.
Do they double dip her on the presents?
No, they did this year, big time.
Oh,
though.
right, well, it
so
makes sense.
my dad a couple months ago, like
Double dip.
he called me and was like, "Hey, I need you to take these specific dates off of work," and it was like New Year's Day and then like the whole weekend following New Year's Day, and I was like, "Okay, for what?" And he goes, "I can't tell you." So I was like, "Okay." So Christmas Eve, I'm over at his house, and he's like, "I wanted to keep this a secret until day of, but he goes, I can't because." I don't want your wife to pack your clothes for you and not pack something that you want, or, so he goes, we're surprising you guys with it's a joint Christmas present for you and Melissa, my wife, and Edie's Christmas and her birthday, and apparently my birthday present also. I didn't know that got
lumped
rolled
in.
Yeah.
Way ahead.
So he picked us up on January 2nd. Edie's birthday is the 4th. So he picked us up Thursday the 2nd and early in the morning, like 4:30 in the morning. And we flew to Florida. And
Edie did not know about this.
Edie had no idea.
So how'd you wake her up?
My dad showed up and woke her up. And we had already packed for her.
That's badass.
And we were already up and dressed and ready to go. And like, so we packed for her, and then, we went out and he woke her up, and then we flew to Florida, and we went to Universal Studios, and we went to Disney World, and we saw all the. She's super into Star Wars and Harry Potter, so we went to Universal Studios, and she totally geeked at Harry Potter. She got a wand and a Harry Potter robe for Christmas, so she was in total heaven, and
yeah,
I was geeking out too. So yeah. I was uber geek. And I was sending these other 2 gentlemen pictures while I was at the Simpsons World.
Yeah, an hour because you're on the Eastern time zone. I was still asleep. It was like 9 o'clock for you, and you're texting us at 8 in the morning. Like
You're still asleep at 8 in the morning. You have a newborn.
I know, but I wake up at 5 because I
damn
got to feed
well I
her.
was.
And I I was on vacation that week too. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're good.
Put your phone on silent. You don't have to answer it.
I did answer because you're having a good time. I look forward to doing that shit in Landon and Penelope, man. Just like do a surprise vacation without that.
Yeah.
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And you and Megan are big. Y'all are big Disney people, or at least Megan is.
Megan is. I could drive along. I'll roll with it. Yeah.
Now at least
happiest
you've
place
got,
on earth.
and now you've at least got Hollywood Studios has all the Star Wars stuff. I mean, and it's huge, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is totally immersive. It rained the day that we were there, so I mean, it kind of that was kind of
But
a
that's
bummer.
kind of cool
but,
though, because doesn't it like decrease the crowd a little?
Yeah, but it was raining a lot, and what we had already walked for 10 miles a day the 2 days prior to that. So Edie's feet were bugging her, and like we were all tired and all kind of grouchy. So it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest experience it could have been. Because it was a surprise trip, my dad didn't know to make reservations you have to make reservations at the cantina for drinks. So it's like a ride. You can't like just show up, and they have like a workshop to go build your own custom lightsaber. I mean, they're like $200 you have to pay.
Obviously, it's premium
but you have
shit,
to make
right?
you have to make a reservation.
Can you get a black lightsaber?
Oh, like the dark saber?
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Oh, okay. Nice. You know what happens? You know what I do? Since I'm not seasoned yet in Disney World, but I know a few tricks. When I get grouchy, I'll tell Megan like we need to like head on to because we do the park hopper deal. So let's go to Epcot, and then we just slam a beer per country. And I'll just go to fucking Mexico, go to Italy, go to France.
You stay in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. But then, my goal is to fucking slam a beer before I leave that fucking town.
Jesus Christ.
A beer.
Damn it, man. I want to go so fucking bad. It's been 23 fucking years since the last time I went.
I just cracked open this Eureka Heights Blue Squishy, the blue raspberry, and it tastes like...
blue?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. It's blue.
Tastes like a watered down, like, icy.
Is that good or bad?
That's fucking going to creep up on you, man.
Yeah, it will. Try it. It's pretty decent. Like, I don't know, for a beer.
Can I grab some herpes? Can you pass that?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It does.
Yeah, it is a watered down icy.
Well, hold on. It
Where's the
smells,
icy?
it smells like a...
I know.
Smell like it's a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Spin it.
Get some aromatics in that bitch.
Get some air in it.
That's
Let it
sexy,
breathe.
actually.
Finish it off. We got to finish it off. I don't want to drink that all the...
All the backwash of Gentleman No Class?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's more. We still got to get to the red squishy.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring the six-pack out then?
Well, no. I'm not drinking any more of this sour. Like, I know we're wasting it, but it was like the last 2 cans, and I couldn't let them go to anybody without my man Paul here at least getting to taste them. Paul's a huge Simpsons head, and so at Universal they have the Simpsons World, which apparently is pretty old. I mean, I didn't know it, but it's like 6 or 7 years old at least.
That's awesome.
So, I think, now that Disney owns it, they were talking about, like, I don't know, like, that's one of the things that we were kind of chatting about before the show is, Disney owns Fox now. So a lot of the properties that are at Universal Studios, Disney technically owns, but they don't own the licensing, the theme park licensing. So what they were telling us while we were there was, Disney can use all those characters. They just can't use it in competing markets. So they could use the Marvel characters at Disneyland because it's in California, but not in Hollywood or not in Disney World in Florida because Universal has the same.
No shit.
Yeah,
that's fucking interesting.
So. Because we were wondering, like, how come you don't see any, like, at Hollywood Studios or anywhere, you don't see any, like, the Marvel characters? You figure, like, Endgame being as big as it was, like, where's all the Marvel shit at? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, they had, like, merchandise, like, Avengers stuff everywhere at, like, in some of the stores, but there was no, like, themed rides or anything like that. Like, Universal Studios has, like, a Hulk roller coaster.
Yeah.
But there was not a whole lot. It was pretty interesting. But
nice. That is fucking. I didn't know about the competing markets. That's fucking.
Yeah,
boggles my mind.
Yeah, so we did the so my dad got us. He did all this stuff. I have no idea what it cost or anything like that. But if I had the chance to do it over again and I could afford it, I would. Like we did this thing on the last day. So Sunday. We flew out at like 7:00 at night. So we had this tour.
Did you have to work
guide.
the next day?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
I work
fun.
from home, bro.
That's true. That's true.
But I mean, like we, so they pick you up. He did this VIP tour thing, and they pick you up at the hotel, and they drive you to the back entrance of the park, the employee entrance of the park. There's no signs to get there. But like you pull back there and they like do a security bag check or whatever, and then they just walk you to the ride and you go through the fast pass line like you have like unlimited fast passes, and you just go through and then once you get so far in the fast pass line, like once they get to like the queue right outside where they load the carts, like you bypass that completely and go straight to the front of the queue, and they just put you in a cart. Damn. So like it makes like when we were at Animal Kingdom, I don't know if Jake, if you're familiar with like the Expedition Everest ride.
Expedition, that's a fucking fun ass ride. Where it goes backwards.
Yeah. So like the fast pass line for that was all. I mean, you have to stand in the fast pass line. You don't get to bypass all of it.
Beggars can't be choosers, man.
It was I know. It was out the door and like down the street over the bridge, and it was. So we were like, okay, and we asked the tour guide. We're like, I mean, we only have a limited amount of time to do this. Like, she's like, oh no, this is only like a 15-minute line.
Yeah. That goes by pretty fast. I remember standing in that fast pass, and it looked long. I think it was only like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're pretty efficient with the fast pass stuff. So
how they work.
Universal Studios, you can buy unlimited fast pass, which is what we had. But like the fast pass lines were a lot longer than the ones at Disney.
There's got to be a limit on that.
No, you have a time frame.
If everybody has it,
At
then like, what's the point?
Yeah, so like at Disney, you're only allowed so many fast passes a day, and you have a time frame to show up.
It's a 2-hour window.
Okay.
It's a 2-hour window that it's valid for.
So Universal Studios, it's like it's unlimited. That's
yeah,
why it's more saturated.
Yeah, you can show, and the actual physical line queue is a lot longer. But like at Disney, the physical line queue for the fast pass is short. I mean, like it looks like. You look at like you walk in and it shows you like, you know, from this point 120 minutes for the regular
I want to go
ride,
so
and like the fast pass line's right next to it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get there and it's like the fast pass is like you see like the regular queue go all the way through this building, like it just like disappears and goes on forever. And then you just fast pass, like it's constantly moving.
Nice.
I felt kind of bad. Like I looked over at those
you
suckers.
got your daughter somewhere and you're just like, I'm going to have fun by myself.
She wanted to ride all the roller coasters, man.
That's
like
badass.
She was finally old enough to like really like the roller coasters, and like she liked them. The first roller coaster we rode was at Universal Studios, and I think it was like the Rock and Roll roller coaster or whatever.
That's at Hollywood Studios.
No, there's a Rock and Roller coaster
is there one
there.
at Universal Studios?
There's one at Universal Studios where you can pick what music you listen to while you're doing the roller coaster, and it's like and then like a straight drop down.
So what ride is this?
It's some kind of rock and roll roller coaster or something like that.
Cool.
It's the same basic theme as the. I mean, it's not an Aerosmith one like the one at Hollywood Studios, but that was the first roller coaster she had ever ridden, and like she was riding next to me, and like she started crying, and then so I started laughing and doing the woo. And then she started catching on that it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And then by the end of the ride, she was laughing too, and she was like, "Oh, I want to do another one." I was like, "All right." You know what I mean?
Did he throw her in like the what's that one in Tomorrowland, the crazy one?
Which one?
The inside
Space
one?
Mountain. She loved that. We went to that one.
Fucking fun ass. And she's by herself too.
Did you go to Tron?
No, those are side by side.
Oh, Space Mountain? Are you sure?
No,
Space Mountain.
No. You're right. They are.
It's a single
chair.
Dude,
those fucking chairs are tiny as fuck.
They're tiny as fuck. But it's
I'll tell
fun.
you this, like. There was guys bigger than me, and I don't understand quite how this worked, because when we were at Universal Studios, we went on the Hogwarts ride, and I got to the front, and the guy was like, "You need to sit in the chair and make sure that the bar will come down and lock."
Like the model, so you can sit down.
Yeah, and I was like,
"Fuck
this
you, dude."
guy in front of me just fucking walked right past you. You didn't make him stop and do that. And he goes, "The chairs are really weird, dude." He's like, "You're not. It's not that you're big, it's just like you're big."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like I sat in that thing, and he was like, "If we can get it to lock, we'll get it to lock." And I was like, "Okay." So like I sat in it, and he's like, "The key is to do this," and like my shoulders were too wide to tuck back in the chair. So he was like, "You just don't compress, like you." He goes, if you were really fat, like we could just squeeze the fuck out of you and like get it to lock. He's like, you're just solid. You're not. It's not moving anywhere. When I was like, kick it. I don't give a fuck. Like,
kick it.
And he was like, no,
I can't do it. Yeah.
So I got to miss that.
Sorry,
one.
bro.
Did you go to customer service and
customer service?
My name's Karen.
I'm a fat piece of shit and I can't fit on your ride. That's fucked up.
How dare you?
Yeah, fuck that. You know what I mean? It's like. it was,
Shit happens.
Yeah, it shit happens.
Greta
So it is
Thunberg.
what it is.
That's fun.
Did you check out the Tron ride? I'm curious
I
about
saw
that.
they're building it still.
Oh, it's not done.
No,
yet?
no. They're still building it, but they have the carts sitting outside, like what
Oh,
they're going.
I
And
thought
they
those-
look like light cycles, and
Yeah.
you sit on it. You sit on it, and then you pull the handles towards you, and a deal comes up and locks against your back and on the back of your legs to lock you in place on it. And so you're riding. The whole ride is going to be you on the light cycle, riding it.
Oh, badass.
I thought that was done years ago.
No, they're
Fuck.
still building it.
Did you do the tour?
Fuck.
The Universal Studios tour?
No.
That's an old man's ride. I enjoy
That's
that.
an old man's ride.
I
I
would
think
enjoy
I
the
would-
shit out of
I
that.
think
Going
I
to
would
the
too.
studios,
we had
but-
multiple.
Yeah.
We
Kids
did the
might not like
Simpsons
that.
ride, and like my dad hated like. So a lot of the rides are turning into. They're doing the thing where like it's all 3D. 3D animation, and like the chair just moves where you're at.
Yeah,
And
Back
instead
to the
of-
Future style.
Yeah,
I used to
like
have that
so.
shit at the mall and shit.
Star Tours.
Yeah, so that's a lot of the rides
Star
are going
Tours,
to
yeah.
that, but the 3D is getting so much better. It's almost like immersive.
Well,
But
look at the Avatar ride.
yeah, the Avatar
Something
ride is
similar,
fucking it's great, but the Simpsons ride, it's kind of shitty. Like,
Oh, that's
Isn't that
terrible.
like replace the Back to the Future ride?
Yeah.
In the Back to the Future
Oh,
ride
that's
was-
right. They did.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did replace it with that. Huh.
yeah. So I mean, I never been on the Back to the Future ride, but I know that it because the DeLorean and the train are
Right.
still right there.
How
Oh,
much?
nice.
Like, if I was to go by myself, just me, how much do you think I would need to save up for like just Disney World?
Don't be a selfish prick.
What?
Right
I'm
there.
just saying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who would go. I'd probably go by myself. It'd probably
I mean,
$2 grand, $3
dude,
grand.
probably less than that. It
Yeah.
depends.
It
Like,
seems like it's
you
a
can
lot
get,
of fucking money.
You can it depends on the experience that you want.
Yeah.
Though, like if you want
I
to,
don't want to be
if
happy.
if you just want to go, and like you just want to do the parks and like there's only so much that you're going to want to do at the parks.
Yeah.
Like you could probably go for 2 or 3 days, maybe less. Get
Yeah.
a budget hotel, like you're only going to be there to sleep.
Yeah.
And then get like a cheap airfare. Go on an off time.
Yeah.
like in the middle of the week when nobody's.
Yeah, I
when
would
nobody's
I would
there.
definitely go like when there's hardly
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you can-
anybody there.
and you can do,
if that's
like-
possible. I mean, I know.
I don't know if y'all do this, but our friends Megan and Keith, like they just buy like they have a credit card that gives them like Disney points, and like they just spend all their bills on that, and then pay it
Wow.
off every month instead of using like their debit
Yeah.
account.
Yeah.
And they just build Disney points, and so they just go.
Oh, nice.
They have like
Yeah, see,
airline miles and stuff like that. They go.
I would just the I'd like to visit just the parks basically. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
I mean, but there's some people that want like the full Disney experience where they pick you up at the airport and take you to
Yeah.
the Disney resort, and you
Right.
just have the band with all your credit card, and your tickets linked to it.
Wow.
You just show up and
can't
everything.
wait to
Like,
have that much money.
See,
to do
what's
that.
crazy is that when we went, we literally checked our bags in Houston. We flew. Next time I saw my bag was at the we stayed on site. So
Yeah,
next
they
time I
put
saw
it-
my
they
bag
bring
was
it to your
they bring it
hotel
to the
room.
fucking
Oh, wow.
hotel. It's insane how much customer service they have. So we literally just follow the signs and we get into
Yeah.
a shuttle. The shuttle takes us to the resort,
Yeah.
bam, in and out. That's a cool experience, but that was something that we saved up a little bit
Yeah.
for, just because we have a toddler.
Yeah, yeah.
Make it as simple as possible.
yeah, make it as simple as
You
possible.
know what I mean? Now, if it was you,
Yeah.
and if it was just me by myself, I think I'll probably stay off-site. Fucking Uber it over there, probably.
Yeah, because dude, they have the Uber
Yeah.
thing down pat, dude. Like you call it Uber, and those guys know there's a specific spot where they drop you off and pick you up, and it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
It's almost the same price as parking for the day,
Exactly.
Wow.
and it's a lot closer, and it's easier to get in and out of with an Uber.
Oh yeah, he could just drop you up
For
front.
sure.
And shit.
You
Yeah,
don't have to
and-
worry about driving somewhere.
Yeah,
Man,
exactly.
bad.
Like
And
you
when
don't
you're
have
tired
to
as
you don't have to
fuck,
rent a car.
Yeah.
Like just
Oh yeah, that's just great about Uber too.
Tired
I
as
forgot
fuck
about
and you
that.
don't
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
true.
I mean, and that was one of the things. Like some people want that whole Disney experience where you're just like you're on property.
Disney
whatever.
Resort. That sounds like that'd be cool too.
There's
man.
there's a
Actually-
bunch of them too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
God
They
damn.
have their own bars.
Yeah,
Get drunk after.
There you go.
yeah.
They have their own
They
titty
don't
bars.
have
No,
Florida
not
doesn't have. They're not legalized, are they?
No.
Ah, damn it.
Not yet.
shit.
That seems
whole,
like
that
it'd be
whole
like the
fucking
last-
state would break off and float away if they fucking legalized it. They're so close to it now.
That's the
like,
only thing good about Florida is the fuck is Disney World.
Yeah.
Or there's such
Well,
a
no, and
shit
then
all
Universal
the state.
Studios.
Universal,
No offense.
yeah.
And
that too,
Busch
yeah.
Gardens.
Busch
is there.
Gardens.
Busch Gardens.
Yeah,
What's-
that's in Tampa.
What's
though.
that one they did in
SeaWorld.
Cable Guy? No, that restaurant. Fucking.
Oh, Medieval Times.
Medieval Times.
There's one of those
Oh.
in Dallas,
Yeah,
though.
but still.
Yeah, I mean,
go to one.
Disney is one of those things, man. Like, and they've got, man, they're trying to figure out all the time, like how to get people in and out of the park quicker and faster and more efficient. And
yeah.
now they've got these gondolas.
Yeah, from resorts.
Yeah,
Like, straight
from the resort to the into the
park.
park. And we rode them just because Edie wanted to ride them, and like we got
Gondola?
up,
What is
yeah,
that?
like a ski lift kind of.
Yeah, it's a ski
Oh,
lift pretty
what
much.
the
You
fuck?
remember at Astro they used to have those things that
Yeah,
go from one end of
yeah.
the park to the other end of the
Yeah,
park?
Yeah.
So
It
they've
goes in
got
the air?
these
That's the same
they've
thing.
got these that go out of the park and then
Jesus
split to 3 different ones, and
Badass.
you can take it
Wow.
to
And it's all going. It doesn't stop. It just keeps
constantly
circulating.
going all the time. And so like
It doesn't stop. You gotta
what-
catch it. Ah!
What's cool is like we took it out of Hollywood Studios, and we wanted to go back to the hotel to go. Like it had rained, and like we wanted to change our shoes and socks because my dad had bought like this big dessert thing. And like we had dinner reservations. I mean, they were just they were cool, but I mean, it wasn't like anything special. It was just dinner reservations. So we ate dinner there, and he had paid for this dessert experience that one of his buddies or customers was like, you have to do this. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like a roped off area. Like you have your own like pre-seated table, and it's, I'm telling you, like a 10-foot long table full of desserts. I mean,
Jesus
and just
Christ.
whatever you want, a bar, open bar, like they did like the night of like a big vat of nitrogen, and they dump ice cream in it, and like you have that. I mean, brownies, cookies, chocolate fondue, cake, just whatever you want, they have. And I mean, it was just unreal. And then they do this
Wow.
big like animation thing on the side of the Chinese theater, like in front of the whole Chinese theater. You get like front row tickets for that, and I mean, it was just over. Everything was just over the top. I mean, Disney just does everything. They know what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing about Disney. There's thousands of positives to every negative. You know, when there's with anything attached to Disney.
I've never had anything
Wow.
bad happen at Disney. Whenever I've only been twice, but everybody I hear, nobody ever has like a piss poor experience.
Exactly.
Even when it's raining, like most of the shops don't shut down.
No.
I mean, they just keep working and they keep going. Like,
They just
Yeah.
make money fucking
Hell, like,
selling you
even-
those ponchos.
oh
and
fuck
shit.
yeah, $10 a
It's
piece for a
insane.
fucking
Yeah.
trash bag.
Jesus. Even just, I remember, like Disneyland was that. I went there when I was living in California. That was like over 10 years ago. But I think even just walking around and just checking out what they have is, just. Oh man!
Oh, yeah.
Again, man, it's just what an experience. Like I mean, I would love
that's
to go.
that's the way these theme parks are going. What got me, the two things that got me were the immersive worlds, like the Harry Potter world and the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I mean, when you walk into the Harry Potter, when you walk into Diagon Alley, like it feels like you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like you're in like some back alley in London. The buildings are a lot further apart than you would think that they would be. You know what I mean? Because it's a theme park, obviously. But I mean, like the cobblestone streets, from the signage to the things in the windows. I mean, to the people that are working there, and like they have the wand that we got Edie for Christmas. Like it's like one of the official Harry Potter wands or whatever, and they have different spots all around the theme park or the Harry Potter park that you can, if you have one of those wands. There's like a gold plate in the street, and it tells you what the spell is and how to do the wand movement. If you stand there and do it, like things happen. Like there's one where you do it and like a fountain turns on, or there's
the
one where
hell?
like lights turn on in a window,
That's
or like
fucking neat.
it animates stuff in a shop window, or like one of them turned on like like you get like rain clouds and like it starts raining.
But it's all in the shop, or
No, it's like they're in the streets outside the shops, but like you'll be outside the shop and there'll be a window and you do it and like the shop windows in front of you and like the puppets start
that's
moving
crazy,
and stuff
man.
like that.
boggles my mind. Man.
Yeah, I mean it's super cool. And I mean they had like I don't know how big a Potter, like if you've watched Harry Potter
I've
and
seen
stuff
them
like
all
that.
once.
So like they have
haven't seen
like
any.
all the foods and drinks that they have
Oh,
in that,
nice.
like the butter beer, like
Yeah,
you can
butter
get-
beer, yeah.
which is I didn't know what to expect when I got it. But you can get a butter beer.
Just because it said beer on it.
Well, I didn't know what it
I'm
was.
with you. I'm with you.
You know, and so I had one, and I was like, "What is a butter beer?" But it's supposed to be like a root beer, but it's a butterscotch cream soda.
Weak.
Yeah,
I want some alcohol with my shit. Man.
I'd be expecting that too.
You could
Shit.
buy alcohol. I mean, they had alcohol
That
all
has
over the
to
place. But I mean, it was really really cool.
Does Universal Studios in Florida, do they have the stairs? It's like the way they have it in California, where it's like a whole bunch of stairs that's going up and down, or no? In California,
on the Hogwarts ride.
no, I'm talking about in general in the theme park. Because in California, it's kind of like one long path, but there's like a bunch of like 2 flights of stairs.
No, that's because California. That's because in
since
California it's mountainous.
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah,
Florida's all
that's-
Florida's all swampland, dude.
okay.
They had to truck in like 80 trillion tons of sand to like just to build up to make theme parks out there.
Yeah.
Because there's a story I heard on the Kevin Smith podcast, Fat Man on Batman or Fat Man Beyond, whatever. He was in California, and he was there after hours, and he saw some employees fucking on those stairs. But I thought maybe it was just like the same concept.
It's
Florida, you would think, people fucking all the time in public because it's Florida, right? But
I don't know. The coolest thing about like the Harry
Lots of
Potter
Florida
thing was,
fans.
at Universal Studios, there's 2 parks. So there's the regular Universal Studios, and then there's the Islands of Adventure. So Islands of Adventure was where the original Harry Potter park opened up, and that was the Hogwarts School and Hogsmeade Village. And then so when Hogsmeade,
they serve mead.
I don't know, maybe. But when in the regular Universal Park is when they opened up Diagon Alley. Okay, so they opened up what do you call it? The Hogwarts Express train that goes back and forth between the two. So you can go in. One of the coolest things there was they had when you're standing in line for the Hogwarts Express. In the movie you have to walk in between platforms 9 and 10. You're going to platform 9 3/4.
Right.
And so when you're in line, the line snakes just the right way where when you're looking at the front of the line that comes around this corner, it's like one of those reflective mirrors where it looks like you're looking at a brick wall, and then the people in the line are walking straight through the wall.
That's crazy. That's badass. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's just like smoke and mirrors stuff, but like it's so like the details of the stuff that they put through there, like it was super fun. But yeah, I mean it was definitely like, I won't say, I hope it's not a once in a lifetime thing. I don't know that like I'm enough of a saver to be able to like take us back there, but it was definitely cool.
It's cool because Universal Studios and Disney World. I mean, you're a fucking grown ass man in your mid-30s.
Thank you for that.
No, I know, right? I know, right? But you're glowing right now talking about this shit.
It was so awesome.
It's crazy, and I feel the same way when I go, and I know Paul does, and Paul wants to go by himself.
Dude, yeah. I stood on the Millennium Falcon, and I just had to like touch the wall, and like I felt like in The Force Awakens when Han and Chewie walked back on the Millennium Falcon for the first time, and he's like, Chewie, we're home. Yeah. Like I felt like that. I was like,
movie.
I was like,
home.
I was like, I've wanted this for so long. Like it was like a childhood dream come true.
Yeah. That's the whole point of Disney.
Yeah, I mean it is, and they do it. I'll have to show you guys the video, the like the surround video that I took. Like there's nothing out of place. I mean, there's not one thing out of place that you can pick out. When you're in Galaxy's Edge, like you're walking around and you look at the ground, like just the concrete and there's like droid tracks,
that's
like
badass,
and like they'll lead to like a trash can, and you're like, oh, that trash can's a droid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like if you kick it, it makes noise.
That's badass.
You know what I mean? Or they'll be like alien tracks that run off into like a bush. And if you stand on the edge of the sidewalk and look over the bush, like stick your head up there, you'll see a little alien back in the bush that made those tracks. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there's just stuff everywhere.
Awesome.
The details in that's amazing.
Sure,
Exactly.
Yeah. God
that's
damn.
why they could charge $200 a ticket.
I don't know how much they cost. I don't want to.
Yeah.
As long as I went and I didn't get a bill afterwards from my dad, like I'm happy.
A bill? Yeah. You take care of that, will you?
By the way, here's your half. What the fuck?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So
anyway, that was my big thing for the for the break.
Nice. Like tonight's the closest thing for like a birthday party for me. By the way.
Yeah. It is,
35,
it doesn't have to be. When's your birthday?
It was past Tuesday.
7th.
A few days ago.
7.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Jan 7.
I haven't had a birthday party in years. I don't know when's the last time I had one. I think the last time I had one, I scared people, and that's fine.
I remember that, actually. That was at your old neighborhood.
You remember the house?
Yeah.
They got me so drunk, and they put me
naked.
They put me in the shower. Yeah, and I come out like, what's going on?
Towel around.
Yeah, what's everybody doing? And everybody just fucking takes off. True story. I'm not
Yeah,
joking.
true story, yeah.
I was planning my birthday. I was 22.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
I didn't eat all day, and I was planning it.
Jesus
By the
Christ.
time I started drinking, I realized I didn't eat all day.
You're
Like
okay,
fuck.
dude.
And so my friends just kept giving me shots and shots later, in the night, and I was so fucked up. And like I remember going to the restroom, and I come out and I fucking fall on Chris Hernandez. Say, "Hey, go back in there. We're going back in there. Come on." Chris Hernandez saved me.
Oh, Chris Hernandez.
Yeah. He saved me. He's like,
Chris
he guided me. He
Hernandez.
got me in the shower, and he's like, I was throwing up. It was bad. I had the worst fucking hangover of my life the next day. It was
Sounds
so
like-
bad.
You're
That sounds-
welcome.
That sounds like
Damn
my
it.
bachelor party.
Oh, that's fun. Man,
Nice.
down memory lane here. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't remember
We
much
need,
of
we
it.
need to redo that. We'll get
My
the mustard
bachelor
bus
party, get the mustard
and,
bus.
Get the mustard bus and everything. The red colored mustard
Tracy
bus.
would be down. I mean,
I think we're all. I think
Fucking-
all everybody
just
would
let
be
me,
down.
Just give me a bottle. I'll be in the back by
the
myself.
guy was
with
like,
fucking-
you can't drink while the bus is moving. What the fuck?
Fuck
He
that.
said
Yeah, I
that?
think
Yeah.
Well, I know he did say.
Is it
can
like
I-
a physics thing? Because
Well,
that's
no,
not
it was
impossible.
because I don't remember because some kind of rule because it was sponsored by Rice University or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Tracy
just
was
gonna
like,
stop
we had
us.
a box of liquor. I was like, there is not enough people on this bus to drink all that fucking liquor. There's no fucking way. There's no way.
I remember the driver did say not to use the fucking toilet or.
Oh yeah, somebody dropped the
Yep,
deuce in
that-
there, didn't they?
No. Took a piss.
Oh, you took
Show a little
piss.
Took a
respect.
piss.
There's no deuce drop in there.
You
Yeah.
don't drop
Show a little
you don't
respect.
drop a deuce on the bus. Speaking
Took
of
a
buses, did you see that tonight? Before there was Rosalind is playing.
Yeah.
I was gonna go.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
but we
meant
fucked
to
that
go.
up for you?
That's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I told Jeremy, break
It's
a
okay.
fucking leg, whatever, and whatnot. So
They're probably gonna
Yeah.
be terrible. It's all
I
right.
wanted to go, because
Yeah, I wanted to go
see
too,
Last
man.
Starfighter too. I know Roman. I want to talk shit from the side, but whatever. It's cool. It'll happen in another few
Yeah,
years.
yeah. I'm sure. That,
There's
oh,
like-
this is fucking bad.
There's like 30 bands on that
I
bill.
know.
Paul.
When we
Paul
get
Sanchez.
Yeah,
What's up,
Laura
baby?
within. Yeah, what's up, baby?
You
We know
could
another
probably-
guy that's
You could probably
playing the
make
show.
it over there, and they're probably still playing by the time we get done with this.
Oh
so.
nah, that's all right. Fuck it.
Yeah, there'll be next time.
Yeah,
There will be.
Probably
probably not. Yeah. Oh well. Fuck it.
Yeah, and I was gonna give you a birthday gift,
Oh yeah.
but
Didn't have
we
to.
decided a podcast on the 24th. Scary Kids, Scaring Kids. I was gonna buy you tickets
fuck
for that.
me, man.
It's okay.
It's all right.
There probably won't be another next time because you know Tyson's dead, and
Yeah.
they got Cove from
fucked up.
Saleson. But,
That's on a Friday.
Friday, yeah. 24th.
Oh well, fuck it.
Yeah, but I mean,
No, there'll be
Should we-
this is more of a
that's
priority.
This is a big podcast.
No, this next episode you do not want to miss. I'll tell you that.
You don't want to. I mean, I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to jinx
no,
it. Because I don't want it something to happen and it not happen.
You ever seen the end
Then
of
we'll
Christ-
go to the
You
show
ever
then.
seen the end of Christmas Vacation? The end of
Sure, I don't know what you're
Christmas
talking
Vacation?
about though.
Where he fucking if he doesn't show up, I'm gonna fucking kidnap that motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
and I'm gonna bring his ass over here.
this is what you wanted, Clark. This is what you want. Tell him what you wanted to say to him. Fucking cousin Eddie on that motherfucker if he cancels on us.
Yeah, so it's gonna happen. Fuck that.
That's
but-
Christmas Vacation, not.
That's a Christmas vacation, yeah. So big news. No one's gonna drop it yet, but I guess I'll drop it. The great Neil Peart passed
Oh yeah.
on Tuesday. On Tuesday,
And they
I guess-
didn't announce it till
announced
yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh, on my birthday.
on
he passed
Tuesday.
away.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
There's so many bad things. We fucking got the goddamn airstrike, or not airstrike, but bombs in our. I'm not getting political, but
It happens,
It's
yeah.
like there's so much bad shit to have on my birthday. It's like, can I
and
just
you ever
have
think?
a nice fucking day?
About they stopped talking about the impeachment? Now everybody's
Yeah.
Well,
shit
yeah.
the
I mean,
Iranian.
did you?
They did the
you,
same thing for
Yeah, they did the
Clinton's
same thing for Clinton.
impeachment too. Did you know that?
Oh no! What did they talk about after that?
No, they
No,
Iran.
there was an Iraq airstrike.
Oh, it was
was it?
Iraq.
Yeah, it was
in Iran.
I think it was at the time.
I thought it was Iran. Right, I read too. Coincidence
Wow,
again.
same shit.
Iraq.
Iraq,
Yeah.
Iraq, Iran.
Iraq.
Iraq.
Goddamn towel heads.
God
I
damn
haven't
it.
heard that in a while. Gonna bring
That
that,
was-
back.
No, it's cool. I'm taking it back.
God damn it.
What was that Clerks 2 where he's like, no, porch monkey doesn't mean a black lazy person. It's just a lazy person. He's like, no, that's a racial slur. And he's like, I think I could take it back.
I think I take it back. That's right.
He calls that little kid a porch monkey. He's like, "Oh, it's cool. I'm taking it back."
That's fucked up. Nice.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mr. Purd. That sucks.
Yeah.
67,
It does. I didn't.
7, right?
67. Yes, sir.
I'm upset because I never got a chance to see the
I
Holy
got lucky.
Trinity.
I got to
Yeah,
see
and
him
if it wasn't for
a
Cliff
couple of
Areno,
times. Yeah, no.
I wouldn't have
grateful
seen
for
Rush
that.
too. Yeah.
Oh, you were there too?
I was there. Yeah.
I like that. How it's got a low volume.
Yeah, I gotta
It's
bump the volume
sneaking
up on it.
Sneaking up on us.
Look at your fucking faders,
Yeah,
man.
where was that? Was that
At the Woodlands, of course. The
Okay.
great Woodlands.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks.
What's the guitar player? Is it Lifeson?
Alex
Alex
Lifeson,
Lifeson,
yeah.
yeah.
He fucking shreds on those Hughes and Kettner, man.
Yeah,
Dude, he-
Ultra Jacob.
Dude, he
That's
shreds
right.
the fuck out of it. That's such a talented fucking band.
Yeah.
My man Doug Cook, one of my best friends, like for Christmas, I think it was Christmas or my birthday last year, got me this fucking awesome like hardcover book. It was Geddy Lee's Big Book of Basses, and it's just like, it's not just basses. I mean, there's a lot of like other guitars and stuff, but it's mostly like Geddy's collection, and then like famous rock stars that are friends of his, like their famous guitars, like really high def photos of them and stories behind them and things like that. And it had like there's other guitars in there, not just basses from famous guitar players and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's a heavy ass book. It's super high gloss, high resolution photos. You would appreciate that. So,
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so that's shout out to my man Doug. I tried to get Doug to come over tonight to podcast, but he was busy.
Everybody was.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I didn't want to do shit.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
all right. It's better with us three anyways. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
Talking to you, Josh.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Fucking better right there.
Kick him while he's down. That sucks.
Well, hey man, no
Love
call,
you,
no
Josh.
show.
You all right?
Fucking
There you go. Like, you ever play Street Fighter 2? Of course, everybody plays Street Fighter 2. You know
That's
that one level where you
Kyle
get to beat up the fucking car?
Yeah,
That's Josh. Sorry, everybody gets their kicks in.
that's fucked up.
Now we love him.
Beat the shit out of the
Oh,
car.
yeah,
Yeah, I love you, Josh.
things happen, and we understand. I mean, that's
Yeah, of course.
we don't forgive or forget, but we understand.
Yeah, it's like The Godfather. If you guys fucking watched it,
I know.
he
haven't
never
watched
forgets.
Maybe I'll do it
He
tomorrow.
never fucking
I got
forget.
plenty of
Oh,
time.
man, it's the best fucking movie out there.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Why
it.
have you not seen the best movie out there?
I don't know.
That's what I don't get.
Because it's
I
not
don't
that
know.
good.
It's not
I can't
according
say
to
that-
everybody.
I know. I'll try to make.
Who gives
I'll
a
try to
fuck
check
what
it out
everybody
tomorrow.
thinks?
Google the
Who
best
gives a
movie
fuck
out
what
there.
everybody thinks?
Google
Yeah.
the best movie out there. I guarantee you, Godfather's going to be up there. I'm just guaranteeing.
best
I'm just
movie?
seeing.
And
But
it's
it's not
subjective.
going to be number one.
Yeah, it is going to be number one. Just Google it.
Subjective.
Come on, I'll challenge you to a beer chug.
I'm not chugging a beer, bro.
It's probably
Bro,
going to be
yeah.
Citizen
'Cause you're-
Kane is probably going
Yeah,
to be.
Citizen Kane's going to be number one.
Yeah.
Either that or
Beer
Shawshank
me.
Redemption.
Beer me. No,
Citizen
sir.
Kane for sure.
Can someone beer me, please?
Yeah.
Since
Here you go, baby.
a little beerless here.
Fearless.
And
Crack
beer
open that
this.
red squishy. Let's
I'm
see what
scared.
that thing tastes like.
What's that one Eureka Heights beer? Just Wow or something?
Oh, Wow Factor.
Wow Factor. So I went all over the mixer. Thank you.
I swear I don't know.
It's all right. The other one did it too.
Fuck,
But
that was big.
I went to Kroger today, and out of all the selection
Hold
of
on.
beers,
Say where?
Kroger.
Roger.
Oh, Crotch.
So out of the wide selection of beers, I zone into Eureka Heights only, and for good reason. I
Yeah.
picked out the Wow Factor, and that just says summer tasting all over it, man. It has like an orange citrusy taste to it.
Wow, I don't think I've tried
Wow
that.
Factor.
Damn, I missed.
It's a Pils.
I can't
Pale
wait.
Ale, maybe Pilsner?
I can't
don't
wait
know.
for the summer again, man.
I don't know my beers. I just know it's good.
I
I can't wait for a fucking space train when I go back to the fucking brewery.
Yeah, hell, now you're talking.
I wish they canned that shit.
Well, I thought they did. Right?
No,
Because
they
I
never
saw
can it.
Mini
It's a
Boss.
mini boss, yeah. And there's another one.
Traitors.
Business
all right.
Time.
On HollywoodReporter.com, the number one movie.
It's Hollywood Reporter.
It's Hollywood.
Oh, so we don't want to trust this
what
source.
does it say? What does it
But
say?
you don't think it's a
I
reputable
guarantee
source?
it's a top 5. I guarantee you. But what does it say? I'm just curious.
Godfather's number one.
Is it really? Damn.
What do you think number 2 is?
I'm gonna say Casablanca.
Wizard of
Oh
Oz.
yeah.
Oh, Wizard of Oz,
Oh,
wow.
Citizen Kane number 3. That's always Citizen Kane's always in the top 5.
Yeah.
And Shawshank Redemption number
Wow.
4. And then rounding out the top 5 is Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Wow, really?
That's kind of wide right there. Going Pulp Fiction is number 5.
Casablanca, number 6.
Okay.
Godfather Part 2, number 7.
Which is a good one, too.
And then, let's see, number 8, E.T.
Number 8.
Just do me a solid, guys.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Watch
number
Godfather
9.
1, please.
All right.
Come on, man.
And then
All
number,
for me.
watch
number
tomorrow,
10, Schindler's List. So
That's a good list. For sure.
yeah, you were like Hollywood Reporter, and then you were like, I was like,
That's right,
so we
baby.
can totally fucking.
That's
we
right,
can
baby.
discount-
They come through in the clutch.
Oh, speaking of Hollywood,
Joaquin? Go Joaquin.
Yeah, I was
getting
gonna
arrested.
he got
He
arrested,
did?
right? Yeah,
He got
I was
arrested.
talking about the Golden Globes.
Okay,
recently.
let's go to Golden Globes first.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, I had.
Oh, what
man.
a great host! He ripped that audience,
dude,
man. He
fuck.
ripped.
I like him, man.
I love
like,
Ricky Gervais.
Me too. I've always loved
Like,
him.
no
I love
fucks
that he
given.
just didn't care.
Yeah.
He just straight up said,
Nobody could have done that and been sincere about
closing
it.
to
Oh
that
my
is
God.
hilarious.
Oh, I didn't see that. Well, I don't. Maybe
He's
that's
like,
not part of it.
okay, I'm here. I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
right.
much,
yeah. Okay, I did see that. He's like, "Fuck you!" Like, he really
Yeah,
didn't
pretty much,
care.
yeah.
Like, he did not care at all.
That's the best part about Ricky Gervais is I mean, he's so. The best part, I mean,
great.
he's hilarious. I mean, he's great, but the best part is
life's too short.
he has stood by his convictions for so long,
Absolutely.
and he doesn't like put up fronts for anything, any bullshit,
Yeah.
anything like that. And
We needed
nobody,
this.
I mean, the people who put him hosting that had to know.
Yeah,
that he
I'm
was
like,
gonna
you have
say
to do that shit.
you
That's
have
your
to-
fault. I
Like
mean,
Ricky Gervais
That's like
is
he
not.
said to
If
those
you
people.
follow him on Twitter, like
like if you're gonna put Chappelle, get ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
He's gonna
Yeah.
speak some truth, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. You know.
Yeah.
and like there's not a whole lot of people that can do that. You know what I mean? But like
Stood
I've
his
always
ground.
said, comedy is the last pure art form.
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
it is the only place where you can go and speak your mind and not be completely ridiculed and booed off the stage for it. You know what I mean? In this,
Yeah.
Well, you
it
can.
has to be the
no. You can. Look at him. What's his
I'm saying-
Kramer? What's his name? Michael.
Well, he wasn't speaking the truth. He was just being racist.
He was just
but
being
he's
a
he was
dick.
speaking
Yeah.
his mind. I don't know if it was trying to.
What I'm saying is, when I'm saying like the last pure art form is because you can speak the truth. Like you can call people on shit. Like
Yeah,
you can,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? That's you can make jokes that are funny that not everybody may think is funny, but are, that's the whole point. Is
When there's conflict at work, I go for the root and the reason why there's conflict, and I joke about it, and I'm put everybody on blast. And people may look at me like, what the fuck, but it to me it's kind of comedy, but it's like, you know what, there's no need for anybody to be pissed off about anything. So that's why I put everybody on blast, and that's why I do that here on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like talk about how Disney, you got the grand
The
tour,
white privilege.
yeah, the white privilege tour, yeah.
But I love how what the best thing is what Ricky Gervais said. Like, when you come up here, just do your little speech, thank your God, thank your agent, and
sit
get the
the
fuck
fuck
off
down.
and
Yeah.
fuck off. Nobody needs to use a
No.
political platform. Nobody gives a shit. Basically, he's like,
Yeah, he
thank
goes,
you.
You guys are you are
Yeah.
the Hollywood elite. You are so far disconnected from everybody else.
Yeah,
Nobody gives a
the
shit
world. You don't
what you
understand
think.
what's
Yeah.
really going on. Nobody gives a fuck. Thank you. Speaking for like the silent majority, like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
fucking care.
And he didn't
what
say.
you-
And what the best part about it is not. He didn't say like I know better than you do,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
or anything like that. He was just saying like you are the fucking like you're the upper 1%. You're so far disconnected from everything.
Yeah.
Like nobody gives a fuck what you think. Like just do your act.
Yeah,
sit
you're
the fuck
fucking
down.
entertainers.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's all
Shut
they
the
should
fuck
be.
up.
I
Oh, my
agree.
God.
There are some people. There are people that use their fame for different things. Like and
Where do you draw the line?
That's interesting.
that's an interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I really like. I like George Lopez.
Oh, you hear about the Secret Service is onto him?
Really?
Well, because he I guess he said something about he made a joke, a Twitter joke, saying fucking the Iranians $80 million for Trump's head. So I was scared. We do it for half.
God damn.
So the Secret
man.
Service is onto him.
Yeah,
I guess
whatever. I mean,
whatever,
but
man.
the thing
That's-
about George Lopez is that he's used his fame for a certain thing to stand up for immigrants' rights, and but the thing is like that's okay if you're informed on the subject,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear I don't want to hear Kim Kardashian fucking saying, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to the point where it makes them seem hypocritical too. It's
Exactly.
like it's like honestly, are they what they're speaking? Like, would they really do it?
And
like
that they should be.
And I don't buy it. Yeah,
yeah. If they're talking about a cause that you can tell that they're passionate about, they'll never let it die.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
and you can tell.
I
like,
think that's where you draw the line.
George has been on the side of immigrants and Mexican American rights for 25, 30 years, for forever, since he started coming up, and he always has been. And he donates to charities and doesn't say anything about it. You know, he does a lot for like Amnesty International and stuff like that. I think, don't quote me on that, but
right.
But I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's there's
like Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know if you heard his speech.
I didn't.
He made a.
Did you see him on Jimmy Fallon though?
I have not. No.
You didn't see the Jimmy Fallon thing where he was like, right after Joker came out, he was sitting there and he was like, "The fuck, Jimmy, you bring me on here like just to make fun of me?" And Jimmy's like,
"Oh shit,
nice."
No, but his acceptance speech. I mean, he's a vegan. Everybody knows he's a vegan.
Oh, I'm sure he's told everybody.
Well, he made a comment about, you know, how whoever, you know, set up the Golden Globes it was all plant based, and he appreciated that. He knew that it could have gotten a lot of ridicule and everything, so he appreciated that they actually took that effort. He also told all the celebrities, you know, to not take your fucking private, you know, jets to, you know, Palm Springs and all that shit, because, you know, so yeah, exactly. But, you know, he's all about the environment and global warming and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
but
that's his cause, and
that's fine.
That's what he wants to do. So
Yeah.
he made a thing, and then I think what he was doing it's a protest on Fridays that they do. And he was very vocal, and he got arrested
at TGI Fridays.
No,
hey, that's what I thought. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what you said. That's what I thought of.
I don't know exactly, but it's for you know, one of the causes he believes in, right? And he's in there with just the locals and shit protesting, and he's very vocal about it. And they pinpointed him out, and they fucking arrested him. So now headlines read the Joker's arrested and shit.
But what I mean,
I don't know exactly.
Okay, you don't know exactly.
It's a Friday protest.
A Friday.
They do a protest
on every Friday.
Yeah, every Friday, and then a lot of celebrities get involved.
Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's convenient. I'll do it on Friday. I can't do it Saturday.
Well, you don't want to get arrested, and you have to go to work the next day.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get your wife to call. Say my husband just got arrested.
Oh, you know? Man. I'll give them that. At least they're consistent. They do it every Friday.
There you go. Yeah.
I give them that.
I mean, I watched. There's this. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this documentary on Netflix called Game Changer.
Bro, is that the
about
vegan?
Sports?
Yeah, the vegan.
Vegan.
Yeah,
it is interesting.
It is interesting.
It's very interesting.
Now, this is brah. So this is one of those documentaries that like really starts to make you think about stuff until you start doing your own research on it. And then you start doing your own research on it, and like if you do just a quick Google search, there's a couple of forums that are dedicated to like pointing out some of the inaccuracies in the information that they present. But the fact of the matter is like whether you watch it and wholeheartely believe it just as it is, it's an interesting concept of where it comes from and stuff like that. So, I mean, as far as like veganism and like basically Game Changers talks about like some high level athletes that have switched to an all plant based diet. And,
right. Well, look at Joaquin Phoenix. He gained his weight back, and he's a vegan. You know what I mean? So you're not healthy.
Well, I mean, one of the, I mean, it goes to, I mean, there's a lot of vegans that will come out and tell you like, you know, I'm a vegan because I'm, you know, whatever their reasons are.
My tortillas, goddamn.
And there's some of them that are like, you know, human beings were never meant to eat meat, which is not true. You know, right. I mean, there's just a lot of interesting like
that logic may have been valid thousands and thousands of years
that's
ago,
one of the things that like
I've evolved, right?
Yeah, so I mean, and granted, you couldn't tell this by looking at me, but
right, I mean, you both.
I think it's interesting. One of the things I Google occasionally and I research into, and I never like actually finish the research. Maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution. I've always wondered like what is the perfect human diet? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know that it actually exists because a lot of people will tell you like, oh, like the paleo diet is, you know, that's what cavemen ate and that's what, that's where humans evolved into. Like that's what we should be eating. And my instant argument to that is always like, well, caveman life expectancy was like 23 years old.
Yeah.
So like that's
beheaded by a T-Rex.
yeah,
and
like
shit. No.
no.
That's survival. A T.
But you get what I'm saying.
Course,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like that would be a documentary that I would watch. Like somebody like trying to find and do the research.
Well,
Like what is the best human diet? Because there are a lot of misconceptions in diet and things like that about what's. And one of the things that Game Changers talks about is like being vegan. But what they don't mention is like some plant stuff is super inflammatory. Like gluten is really inflammatory to your bowels. And so like I don't know. There's
you ever seen The Biggest Loser? Back in the day, I don't know if it still comes on.
I mean, I know what it is.
Okay,
but
so
no,
there's this white guy. He's a trainer, and he's
Why
fucking
gotta be
fit.
white?
Well, because he is the white guy. He's very fit. He's a trainer, and he fucking tells everybody to eat right and this and that. But he ended up having a heart attack himself. And it's
Genetics.
Genetics, exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like genetics, some are able to eat whatever the fuck they want and not gain a fucking pound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just pretty much in the genes. So if I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect diet.
I
to
think
one
that's
person.
it's all.
and
I think it's
that's
all
your
preference
yeah.
too. Like what you can handle, like what you can, like what you think is, you can, because when you substitute when people do all that stuff, like, and you try to alter your diet and do it all depends like what you can handle, because it's like, it's basically like what, like if you're an alcoholic or a drug addict and you got to stop, whatever. Like, I mean, you're gonna have withdrawals and you have cravings, all that shit. It's all about like replacing and like what you think is ideal for you. It's a journey. It's individually the way I look at it.
Yeah, and I mean, part of it is like I think that like trying to find like a perfect diet, like you said, like Jake said, like it's all dependent on human physiology and things
everybody's
like that.
different.
But,
literally,
exactly.
You just keep checking that fucking football game, dude. Nobody gives a fuck
Bro,
about that
it's
football
crazy.
game.
So, okay, I don't mean to interrupt, but
I knew exactly when your eyes did that. I was like, oh, something's going on.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Baltimore is the best team in the NFL, and they're
Are
losing.
they, though?
No, they are fucking on paper.
Okay,
but they're losing.
I believe you.
They're
I
losing
haven't.
and
I have no
no
way to
one
argue.
cares. No one cares about NFL, but those that are listening that do
Thank
care
you,
about
Jacob.
the NFL, Titans, who's a wild card team, are up 20-6 right now, and if they clean house right now,
What period is it?
third quarter, halfway into the third quarter, so they got about maybe 21 minutes left. So if
That's
they
like
clean
an
house-
hour of game time.
Doesn't matter. If they clean house today and we win tomorrow, then they did a lot of fucking clean work for us, and we got to play against Tennessee, which we beat them twice.
so you're
already.
trying to say that the
I'm
Texans
hope-
don't have no match or the other if they
No,
don't
he's
clean?
saying that if the Titans beat Baltimore, then the Texans have a very good chance of beating Tennessee.
if
and
we
make
go
it-
past
that's what I'm
Kansas
saying.
City
Like,
tomorrow.
if we beat
why
Kansas
why
City.
can't the Texans just go against the best regardless and see what they can do?
because
You're betting against. I see what you're saying. You're kind of betting against like
we did go against
for
the best.
the loser.
We did go against the best in the season, and we lost by 50 fucking points or something crazy.
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Jesus,
That's why I'm trying
okay.
to. I'm so excited
Well,
about
okay.
it. And we beat
Okay.
Tennessee
Okay.
twice.
well, the Patriots are out.
And Patriots are out.
I
So
heard about
I mean,
that, yeah.
this is our best shot to the Super Bowl if Tennessee. Sorry, go ahead.
So
Hang on, sorry.
let's say we beat the Chiefs. If we beat the Chiefs and then we have to play the Titans,
Which is a different team, obviously, because fucking Titans went through fucking. They're going through Baltimore, and they went through they went through Patriots last week.
okay. So if we were to beat the Titans, we would be in the Super Bowl.
Okay, if the Titans win tonight, they're going to go to the AFC
Damn it,
Championship,
how
and
did
if we
this
win
happen?
tomorrow, we're going to go to the AFC. Yeah, and we beat the Titans, then yes, that'll be a Super Bowl. Correct.
Who's
Yes,
who's in the NFC?
sir. NFC? You got Seattle. That's playing tomorrow, and San Francisco. So it's probably going to be Seattle against San Francisco.
49ers, yeah.
Yeah, so,
my
Seattle
two-
versus Green Bay tomorrow.
My two neighbors across the street, they're huge 49ers fans.
Those
But
pussies.
both of them they live right next door to each other. One of them just moved in, and I was like, oh man, you picked a good house because he's a fucking 49ers fan too.
That
But
sucks.
anyway,
That sucks.
Yeah.
Aw.
I need to know what
It's better to be a 49ers fan than a Cowboys fan. I give them that.
Oh, it's better to be anything fan
Yeah.
than a Cowboys fan.
Be a fan of
You
shit.
could be a Houston Dash fan and it's better than being a
What
Cowboys
the fuck
fan.
is a Houston Dash?
Exactly.
That's bad.
It's a
then.
women's
That's
Okay.
the
soccer
women's soccer team.
Sexist.
All right. Well, that was a hell of a segue.
Well, I
That was like a
just
segue
want to
to
know.
sports.
Like, I have to go spend a week in California and San Francisco next week. So, like, I just
Damn.
want to know what I'm in for.
I want to come on board.
You want to?
Yeah, I heard come. That's all
come
I
on
heard.
board?
Okay, that's cool.
San Francisco, nice. Okay.
What were we talking about though? Before?
Talking about keto diets and shit.
Yeah,
we're
just-
talking about
yeah,
diets.
just,
I think that would be a good topic for another episode. We should just shelve that. And do some research
Catalog
on it.
that shit for a future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
future
We can also bring in our own experiences too and shit.
Yeah,
I
we
know-
could.
I know.
I would love to get like a health or fitness expert in here and talk about that.
Talk shit to each
do we-
one of us, or at least
Yeah.
to you and me.
Ridicule.
Yeah, because we're fat
Hey,
pieces of shit.
well, you
Like,
know-
I mean,
I'll school them on a beer diet.
Well,
so
hold
fuck
on.
'em.
I mean,
Can
just
you give me
because
a beer,
like you,
please?
I mean, I'm technically thinner than you guys doesn't mean I'm necessarily healthy because my diet has been the greatest lately. I need to go back. I mean, I will. I just haven't been eating too well. Just been eating shitty.
what would you like?
Give me something
We have a
with
wide
taste.
variety.
Something with taste, sir. I'll
Something
trust
with
you.
taste. A fucking.
I'm drinking Buckle Bunny. It doesn't have that
Buckle
much
Bunny
taste.
has great taste. What are you
It's
talking about?
good whenever I go
Not
on
gonna
for
sponsors.
my jog. I drink
Sponsor.
Buckle Bunny. That's fucking
When you
which-
what? Go
when
for
I
a
jog.
jog?
Yeah, go for a jog. That's my fucking thirst quencher. I need something to taste.
give me a variety, like a type of beer that you
I'm an
like.
IPA guy.
I know.
IPA.
You know?
eh?
Yeah. So I love that
Do-
we're doing
hey,
this
do-
on
do we-
podcast here.
I can't. I don't know. Do you guys know anybody that would be that would qualify for that episode for like
Fitness,
or well, not necessarily fitness, but like health or nutritionist or something like that. I don't know. I can't think of anybody myself on the top of my head.
I mean, I think if we knew anybody,
heads.
we would all be healthier.
Yeah, that's true. I do actually have a
Mini boss, thank
well,
you, sir.
Technically, I do have access to a nutritionist.
I
I
mean-
never used her through my holistic doctor, and I paid for it. Like
I don't know
haven't
what you're talking
fucking
about,
used
dude.
it.
I'm into
I'll be all
fitness.
right. All right, don't
I'm
give
into
it-
fitness.
Oh, don't do it. Don't just stop. Don't finish that.
Why?
Fuck that meme. This shit, you sound like you're fucking
Fitness whole
70.
burger in my mouth.
Oh god, that's terrible. I heard the fitness is
Did you
pizza.
just spill beer all over my studio?
Well, you shook the shit before
I
you
didn't
gave it
shake
to me.
nothing.
asshole?
Yeah.
Knowingly it's gonna be your own.
Yeah,
not
why
you,
would I
I'm talking
do
about
that?
Rob.
Right, yeah,
He's shaking it because he's your own fucking. I don't know. We never got to taste the.
Oh yeah.
I-
Pour it.
fuck,
Pound
man.
the rest of that blue
I don't-
squishy.
I'm not gonna pound
is
that shit.
really not that good.
No, I'm not gonna.
Sorry,
I'm not gonna pound it.
your guides, Evan. It's just
it's
little
not a
bit of
permanent
downer.
rotation.
Yeah,
He loves it. Fuck it.
yeah. You go chug a lug, chugging them.
I don't like sours.
I mean, well,
I don't know
I
who-
like sours, but like this tastes kind of. I don't know. It's
Sour? It's sour. It's
it just tastes. Oh shit!
You're spilling all over the place
I know,
too.
shit.
That's not
Jacob,
even that red. They should have dyed that shit fucking dark red, like a goddamn icy.
Did you have a
towel?
something? Yeah.
No, I had
Oh,
the
that-
tissue paper.
Oh, from your shot glass?
My shot
Yeah,
glass,
that's
yeah.
better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Getting this high end table that Jacob made for us. Fucking.
Hey man, soak that shit with beer.
just-
Make
yeah.
that shit warp and
I know,
smell
right?
like rotten beer all
Give
the
it some
time.
character, huh?
Smell like a bar. Let's not put this on the edge of the table. I don't want that spilling in
Yeah,
here.
that's about the same. Just tastes red.
It tastes red.
Yeah, it tastes like red.
What flavor you got?
a big red?
Purple.
Yeah, does not taste like Big Red. Unfortunately. Yeah.
It tastes like a watered down icy.
Yeah.
It tastes like a melted icy. Let Jacob taste it.
All right, so I'm gonna smell this real quick.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah.
Smell that shit. Let it breathe.
It smells
Robust.
like hot trash.
Hot
Like
trash.
hot trash.
You know, I hate to throw this out here, but I still can't believe you guys tried to set me up with a married woman.
I did.
Well, Meg.
Who the fuck are you talking about, y'all?
I'm not you guys. Meg and Jacob. Meg, she kept asking me. It's one of her
It
coworkers.
wasn't a setup. It was
Well,
just kind of like
you know, okay. Well, either way, like just trying to meet or something. You know, Meg was kind of pressing on. Like one of her coworkers, she's I guess in her marriage is not doing so well. And Meg was trying to like, you know, like, are you interested? It's like,
You want you to swoop in
No,
and-
it was like, she's married. Like, so she kept like asking me,
She's
like,
well,
through text.
she's okay with that though.
you know,
Yeah,
half
no,
those,
but
you know,
see,
half
that's the
those
thing is, like-
strippers are married too.
Yeah,
Sure they're
She
stripping
kept
their way
asking
through
me.
college, man.
She
What are you
kept like
talking about?
asking me, she's like, so do you know, so what's the deal? You want to meet? It's like, Meg, she's married. She's like, oh, come on. Like, it's like, Meg, come on. She's fucking married. I don't care. Like, that the story might be right. It might be a loveless marriage, but there's always two sides of the story. I'm no fucking homewrecker.
Maybe he's a cuck.
Fuck that.
Maybe he wants.
Maybe
he wants you to. Maybe he wants you to fuck his wife while
That's
you watch.
what I said. I'm not into that either. That's terrible.
Maybe
That's
you should
disgusting.
get into it.
That's desperate. That's terrible. I'm all right.
That's not desperate. That's just their fetish. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna fulfill that.
That's just my game.
Get somebody else to do. Fuck that. That's disgusting. I don't. Oh man, that is.
Well, okay. I mean, you're obviously disgusted by it. I'm not going to keep pushing it on you.
Don't knock it till you try it, man.
Have you tried it?
No. But I'm a married man. If I was single.
Oh God, it's bad.
No,
I'm all right.
There have been a lot of things I would have done.
Yeah, sure. I keep telling myself that too. Oh man, if I was single, I'd do. No, if I was single, I'd live in a really shitty apartment.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'd probably have the same bullshit ass job. The only reason that
you'll be the happiest ever. No, I'm just kidding.
The only reason I was ever any kind of ambitious at work or anything like that was because I was like, I got to do better to provide for my wife and kids. You know what I mean?
But no, let's be real though. Let's be real about something. Like, we have wives that allow us to do this shit.
Well, you guys do.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. They allow us to do this fucking podcast, drink beer, and this is my fucking hall pass.
This is your hall pass? You're spitting on us?
I mean, I don't.
Exactly, you're right.
All right. I'll take it.
I wouldn't say that like my wife allows me to do anything.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, there's you don't get no allowances. You're right.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right.
You just make it happen somehow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just speaking for my marriage. Like in my marriage, like I don't ask for permission to do things. Right. I know where the limits are, and I know like this is what she knows what my commitments are. She knows what I'm passionate about, and she supports everything that I've ever done.
That's a good relationship, man.
And whenever she, I mean, I don't want to use the word lucky for me, but I mean, she, like the things that she's most passionate about are, and for better or worse, I mean, like is taking care of Corey, like that's really like one of her things that she's super passionate about. And I don't really have to do a whole lot to support that.
Right.
Maintain my job and insurance, and that's about all I have to do to make sure that keeps happening. But like she gets a wild hair up her ass, and she's like, I want to start doing this. And so like I get behind her 100%, just like she's got my back 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to ask for permission.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And a lot of people say that marriage is like it's 50-50. No, it's 100-100. Yeah. It always has to be.
Like Megan didn't get home. Like Megan didn't get home till like 3:00 in the morning one night because she went out with her girlfriends. I'm like, yeah, fucking. Don't. She asked me, hey,
and that's the day you watched The Irishman twice.
No. That was she went shopping that morning. But I was like, no, don't ask me. Just fucking go because it's always yes. You know what I mean? It's like.
That's she does.
Well, you guys understand each other. That's what's great.
I mean,
about
Melissa
it.
asks. I mean, she does the same thing. She's like, like, hey, would you mind if I go met my girlfriends for? No, don't ask. Like, just tell me this is what you're doing.
Exactly.
Like, you don't need my permission. You're an
adult.
Like,
that's when I've heard
you just
people
don't abuse it.
I've heard people in relationships when they're like that, when they have to do that's not a good relationship right here. Like, that's terrible. I wouldn't fuck that. I know I wouldn't want to have something like that myself.
And that's I think that's one of the big keys to a strong relationship and a strong marriage. I mean, honestly, is like understanding each other and having each other's backs.
Yeah, that's
anything.
That's a
you know what I mean.
That's a good relationship.
To compliment that though, you've been married a lot longer than Megan and I have been married, and your kids are grown. It's a little different conversation when I have it with Megan sometimes because, I mean, it's fine. We make it work. It's just, I mean, I feel guilty because I'm like, shit, I'm leaving her with a 3-month-old now, going on 4 months, and a fucking 4-year-old going on fucking
Don't guilt trip
18.
us, motherfucker. Like, we set this up so that we could do this shit at your house every other episode.
I didn't even think about that.
And you've never fucking played that card, so you're not guilt tripping me.
I wasn't guilt tripping anybody. It was just
good because I don't feel guilty. No,
I don't either.
Fucked up. I completely
this is my
forgot
author.
about that route we're supposed to do. But hey, man, that's up to you, man.
No,
whatever you
just
wanna
that
do
we
that.
haven't done it yet. I mean, whatever.
Just let us.
It
know.
hasn't come. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like
yeah.
if it needed to happen, it would. I'm
would have
sure
happened.
it would happen.
Yeah.
It would have happened.
But
yeah.
we set ourselves
able
up.
to- yeah.
We set ourselves up for that. I mean, it wasn't a big deal to get to that point. Like, and when you asked us to be able to do that, I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't a conversation. It was just
yes all
like
around. Yeah, for
whatever
sure.
we need to do. And I think that's a good, healthy
yeah.
relationship just in general. Like it's always a partnership. You know what I mean? It's always both sides have 100%
Absolutely.
in everything. You know what I mean?
I think it was more like a safety net, though, just for like just in case purposes.
Yeah, because
And I
you
wasn't
didn't know
gonna
what
throw
to
you
expect.
a fucking curveball like hey, the day of like, oh, by the way, we're gonna shift this over to my house that day. You know, whatever.
We're gonna have to record this in the bathroom with Bailey scratching at the door.
Fucking Bailey.
Dog fucking hates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
time to get used
but
to
I mean,
me,
that's,
too.
I mean, like, honestly, like, that's one of the things, just shifting back to, like, what a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage is. It's like, you have to understand, once you understand each other, then you can understand each other's struggles. So you know that, like, Jake, you know that if you're going to leave and come do this, like, you know, as long as you give Meg, enough heads up and say, hey, Friday night, we're podcasting. So you wake up, or Saturday, whatever, hey, we got a podcast because we got to get an episode out. You're going to make sure, like, everything, you're going to set her up for success while you're gone. You know what I mean? Like, hey, go take some time for yourself, whatever. Let me take the kids for a couple hours.
That's
Jake's
fucking hilarious, dude.
Jake's like, yeah, I don't do that.
No, that's fucking hilarious because I worked today, and then I got home. I went to the grocery store. I got home, and I told Megan, do your thing. I got the kids. Because I am abandoning you in a few hours.
It'll be my time. in a
and it
minute.
sucked. I had to work all day, and then I
Yeah, I mean,
came home.
but
yeah,
this
you're
is a
right.
rare,
It's
this is a
crazy.
rare
It's
occasion
it's
that like we
hilarious
do
that
it
you
on
say
a
that.
Saturday. But
How in the fuck
Yeah.
did this episode shift to this?
this is what
I don't
happens
know.
when we haven't had an episode in a month. I mean, like, we took a break
Last
for-
year we had the episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was
Last
year.
decade.
Not according to Rob.
No, not,
God damn it,
not
man.
according to science.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's not just
Fuck
me.
science.
I don't
really
understand
be
it, so I
without
choose
science.
not to believe in
Yep,
it.
that's right.
There you go.
That's the ignorance.
I mean, I think that's like the basis for a healthy relationship is just understand, because Megan knows like where your commitment's at, and like you don't over ask. I mean, Melissa's very understanding of the shit that I get into because I have gigs where where I'm
A data.
playing, and then I have other gigs where I'm running sound for people.
Right.
And that's a big
you're-
time
yeah,
commitment.
for
And
sure.
plus I do this, but I mean, on the flip side of that, like, she doesn't really have a whole lot to complain about because I work from home now. So like, she gets home from work and comes and sits in here and talks to me, and I'm like, I'm still on the clock,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm working. She's like,
that
oh, fine, I'll leave. And I'm like, I mean, I have work to do, but fill us in on the score, Jake. I mean, you're dying.
28-6, sir. I'm sorry.
you.
28-6. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, what's great is like you got like with the relationship between both of you guys. Like you guys have you support each other for what you want to do. That's very important.
That
I've
is
seen
super important.
people in relationships where they don't like they don't like, well, at least the girl that's their wife or whatever, they don't support what they love doing. That's terrible. That's gonna be a fucking shitty relationship. And I've seen those.
And
that's
the
what
thing-
really discouraged me too in my 20s. I know it's not right. I didn't want to date because I was like, well, if you're not gonna support my music, then I don't want you to be my fucking life. And I just forget it.
That's
Like,
hey man, but that's, I was like that when I was dating. I didn't date a whole lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I would get in a relationship with a girl, and like if I would have a hard conversation with myself, at the start of every relationship, and I would be like, if I couldn't see myself being with that girl for an extended period of time, like marriage, whatever, long term, like I would break it off.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's something wrong with that. I mean,
because I knew what I wanted.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I knew what I wanted in a relationship,
Exactly.
and if she wasn't wife material, like, what's
Yeah.
the point?
yeah.
You know
Now,
what
what
I
if
mean?
she
Wasting
was-
fucking time.
Now, is your basis of wife material her submitting to everything you want? Because what if it comes to the point where, like, I want to do music.
Everybody's definition is different,
Right,
And
right.
and honestly,
That's true.
like, honestly, like when it comes to that, like my basis for what I wanted in a wife was Melissa, because we had dated and broke up. So she was my basis for every relationship after that.
That's an interesting story.
Wow.
And you have it,
I mean, that our relationship is a very interesting story. But
because you were in high school, right? High school sweethearts.
No, we were. She was my best friend in high school.
Best friend. See, that's crazy.
And,
that's awesome.
I mean, we spent every day together. Like I mean, I had my own car, but like I fucked up and got grounded a lot. So like she would pick me up. She would pick me up from work and drive me home.
Crazy,
like she lived right across the street from me, basically. So
nice.
That's how Megan and I were. Megan and I were best friends, and I was dating other people.
Yes, she was dating other people. I never dated anybody in high school, really, because I mean, honestly, like I wasn't interested in anybody else. I really wanted to date her, but she was always dating other people. But we were. I mean, she was my best friend. So
exactly.
It wasn't
Sorry,
it wasn't until after she moved.
I'm all right.
No. You weren't my best friend for a little bit.
I wasn't even
Megan
paying
was my best
attention to
friend.
that. I don't care.
I feel like that's a
Shut up. That
relationship.
doesn't even. That doesn't count. You don't get to bang me. What the hell is wrong with you?
Hey,
Hey.
I mean,
I can if I want to. Let's be real.
But I don't want to.
Yeah, you say that now.
I mean, you do it if he asked and was sincere about it. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
And I
help a
put
buddy
on
out.
the charm.
Help a brother out.
And I put on the charm.
On the charm?
If I put it on the table, you down. So I mean, it's like me and Melissa didn't date till she was in college. Like I didn't have the balls to say anything to her until she moved away. And at that point, I was like, I kind of had this feeling. Paul and I were kind of talking about this earlier. Like I was going through a lot of shit, and like I was kind of realizing that like I was dealing with like depression a lot, and like I was really coming to terms with like with that, and like I didn't know like how much longer like I was gonna be around, kind of like at that point, and I kind of laid a lot of things on the table, and I think I just told her, I was like, this is how I feel about you, and like it kind of evolved into us dating long distance for it wasn't even that long, 3 or 4 months, maybe 5, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 semester of school, and like I drove up there a couple of times.
What's up there?
She went to school in Denton, so
that's right.
University of North Texas, so like I would drive up there once, and then I'd see her when she came home. And then it was long distance. It wasn't that it wouldn't work if we were, here, but it just wasn't working for that situation. So, I mean, I agreed that like I wasn't going to like hold her back or anything. And like, she met somebody else, and, she ended up getting married, and, they were married, and they dated for a while, and then they were married, and they moved to Seattle.
Yeah.
And then I just assumed she was gone, but like that was the relationship that I wanted from every woman after that, and none of them lived up to it.
Right.
And then
that's fucking sweet, man.
When the opportunity,
write a book.
Honestly, like we had a great opportunity arose after that, and like he fucked it up. Whatever happened between them, that's their story.
Yeah.
And she messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm moving back to Houston. I'm getting divorced." And I was like, "Man, that sucks."
That's crazy. Like, she messaged you.
Let me know when you. I mean, we had talked. We talked every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
We weren't like it wasn't completely out of the blue. Like we were friends on Facebook or something, MySpace or whatever was the thing at the time.
Hot or Not or whatever.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dated girls off of Hot or Not also.
Face the Jury.
Shit.
You remember Face
the
Jury?
I never
do.
was on Face the Jury.
I didn't get nothing on those dating sites.
I hit you with 100 every time I ran across.
Here's 100 Huskies.
100 Huskies, yeah.
No, wow, that's
shit.
sweet, man.
Yeah, I mean, we just got lucky. I mean, she told me she was coming back, and I was like, "Hey, let me like boost your spirits. Let's go." And just as friends, I was like, I think I was dating somebody else at the time, and she was coming back, and I was like, let's. And it was a really shitty relationship, and my buddy Justin was like, "What are you doing?" Like,
yeah.
And I was like, "You're right." So like, I think I broke it off with her, and then with no like, Melissa was still like. It took her a week to move from Seattle to Houston. And, like it was during that week, like all we had was like MySpace Messenger or something like that. I don't even think I had her number at that point, even though she's had the same number since we were in high school.
No shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, but like when she moved back, like when she got here, she was like, "Hey, like, yeah, I thought we were gonna go hang out," and I had my own place. And like the second day she was here, she just like, "Hey, I'm bored. I'm with my mom. Like, I don't want to be at my mom's house. Like, I'm gonna come over and hang out." So like she just come over and hang out.
Netflixed and chilled, huh?
No, I didn't. I couldn't afford Netflix.
The DVD.
I had a couch.
Yeah.
And a big ass. I was a bachelor pad. It was a
Isn't
couch.
that the same apartment
and a
that we
big
first
ass
met
flat
you in?
screen TV.
Is it? The first apartment we first
that was
met
that
you?
one down
Clear
in
Lake?
Webster. No,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was
Webster,
this
yeah.
was when I was working at Lexus, and it was over off of like Briar Forest and Eldridge kind of area. It was a really weird apartment. So the building was 3 stories, but my apartment was like a townhouse kind of. So my apartment was a 1-bedroom loft apartment, and it was the second and third story of the building. So like when you had to walk up outside stairs to get to the second floor.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
And then you walked into my apartment, and it was long and skinny. So it was like the living room and the kitchen and like a small dining room. And then you walked upstairs, and that was the bedroom, laundry room, and bathroom.
Oh shit. Okay.
It was kind of
I
weird.
remember. I think he's a friend. I think April. I don't remember April with him. I think she had a place like that where like, upstairs was the bathroom.
And I had a half bath downstairs.
Huh.
So yeah, I mean,
weird
it was
layout.
it was kind of a weird layout. So, I mean it was kind of a whirlwind. I'll tell you, I know exactly when it was. It was August of 2008. So that was August of 2008. She moved back, and then she came over and hung out one night, and then she was like, "Hey, like, let's." I had promised her to take her out for the weekend, so we went. And I picked her up, and I took her out to dinner, and then we went to like Sherlock's on Westheimer and had drinks, and like that was it.
Yeah,
like I don't think we spent.
I remember. I think you were in the band with us.
Not yet.
No?
I wasn't. Not yet. But I was getting there. I wanted to start playing music again, and I convinced my dad to loan me some money to get a guitar and a bass amp. And I was auditioning for different bands. I hadn't played in forever. And I started auditioning for different bands, and then that's when I answered you guys, and we started playing together, Ultra Rob style. So, I mean, that was August of 2008, and then she didn't even have her own apartment at that point. She got her own apartment at like the beginning of September of 2008, and like as soon as she had her own apartment, like I started just bringing stuff over there because I was there every night.
Yeah.
Like we just didn't want to be apart, so like. And then that was August, September of 2008. I proposed to her December 2nd of 2008.
Yeah.
And we were married April of 2009.
Wow.
And I mean, I basically was just like, I've waited long enough. Like I'm tired of waiting. Like, this is what I want. And like, if you're down, I think that we picked a specific date because she was my prom date, but we weren't dating. Mm-hmm. We went as friends so that we could both go to prom.
Right.
So, but like we picked that date because it was the anniversary of our first date, quote unquote, our prom date. That was the date that we got married.
Oh, no shit. It happened to be on a Saturday.
No, it was on a Monday.
On Monday.
But we didn't have we had that mock ceremony that Saturday and the big party that was the quote unquote wedding that Ryan officiated. He wasn't a minister, but we were already married at that point.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So like we were married on April 27th, and that party was like May 2nd.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of a funny thing, but
I was.
Nice save.
I remember I was the only one with Paul.
I didn't shake him up. I swear to God, I didn't shake him up.
Yeah, he shook the
there
shit
for a while.
Yeah.
I know.
Right?
I think they're just because they're old. They've been fermenting in there.
They spin the same.
Yeah.
I remember Paul and I were the only ones after that wedding that showed up to help to clean up.
Oh,
you owe me your
that's
life,
right.
man.
Yeah,
You
that's
owe me your
right.
life.
We did.
You were the only
There was
ones.
nobody else there. I
Wasn't
think.
Tracy making people do keg stands?
Yeah,
to try
Tracy.
to kill that keg?
I did a keg stand.
I remember just sliding under fucking Eric's fucking legs. I was so drunk.
And that night we went to a party
there
somewhere.
was no single ladies. Us men had to make the we made it.
All
You know, we
Melissa's
made it
friends
do.
were-
There was only one, and she was a lesbian. I remember Ryan or Linhart was trying to I'll try to get over on the team on the side of the team or something. It was fucking hilarious, man.
And then that night, I remember
I had a lot. Sorry, I'm interrupting. I had a lot of fucking fun at your wedding night. It was fun, man.
Now we went to a party after that. With
Randy. With Randy in downtown.
Randy wanted to get into a fight.
Oh, I heard about that.
He did?
Yeah, there was a fight going on or something that was happening, and Randy
to
wanted to get into it. I'm like, where with Randy?
Which is so uncharacteristic of Randy. You know what I mean? That's funny.
It was fucking fun. That shit was hilarious.
What a day. Yeah, and I mean Melissa and I have been married ever since, so coming up on 11 years.
Yeah.
11 years?
Yeah, 11 years this year.
Yeah, 11 years would be 2009. Yeah.
Damn.
10
man.
years was 2009.
Fuck,
2009 to
19,
2019 was 10 years. So yeah, 2020 will be our.
What have I been doing with my life?
Don't compare.
It's
your
not.
life
It's
to
not.
others.
It's not a
No,
race,
it just seems
man.
like I know, but it just seems like it's been a.
No.
The other day, I thought about this. The other day, it really. I mean, it's just being honest, but it devastated the fuck out of me. My whole 20s.
When the Mandalorian was over, I had the same feeling when I was. Season 1 was done.
I realized because just time's been flying by. But my whole 20s, all I did was fucking almost drink myself to death because I was so fucking depressed. It was so bad, man.
Hey, man, I did too.
But
Don't take that away from me.
I know, but
like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I know. I know. There's plenty of good times, but it made me realize, oh my god, man!
What you're talking about.
I can't believe it's like my whole fucking 20s. Oh my god, it was so bad. But whatever.
Hey man, look, I think when you look back on it,
it's
in
fine.
a different respect,
it's fine now.
You did a lot of stuff that I never. You moved to San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what happened while you were there, it doesn't matter. You had the balls to do that. I've never lived anywhere else other than Houston. And when it came down to settle somewhere for my family and stuff, I moved literally within walking distance of the high school that me and Melissa graduated from.
Yeah.
So I have never left this area.
Yeah,
That's depressing.
Thanks. I don't think so, but
no, I don't.
Paul. Paul had the
yeah.
balls to just pack up and move to San Diego.
That was rough. I don't know how I did it either.
I mean, honestly, I don't either. I couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
But no, I mean, it is what it is. But just thinking about just all the shit I've been, I don't know. It is. Yeah, I have a different perspective on it now, and just it's just crazy to think all that. But I don't think it was not for nothing. I learned a lot. It's fine. It was rough, but it was all an experience. I mean, up until my life, everything. Even like I said, my whole 20s. Even though a lot of it was wasteful, but it not necessarily. I did learn a lot. It hurt.
Yeah,
it's just surviving it basically, and coming out of it, and hoping to get better from it.
The trial and errors,
yeah,
and the lessons, and everything, man.
But that's fine because it made me who I am today, and made me realize be grateful for certain things too.
Exactly. Every step that you've taken in the wrong direction, and every step you've taken in the right direction, has led you to this point.
Yeah.
In 10 years from now, I'm gonna look back at this podcast and I'm like, really, Jake?
What the fuck?
What the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah, really?
You were on a
say it right
podcast
now.
with these racist motherfuckers.
We're like losers, but yeah.
Whatever.
yeah, I'm fine.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I can tell you right now, 2020 is our year.
Everybody says that shit. 2 days later, you completely forget about it.
I think this is we're seasoned. I think now.
Are we?
I think we're somewhat half seasoned.
Seasoned fries.
Yeah. But I think we know what we're doing at least to a certain degree. I mean,
we
have a whole bunch of beer. Why? Because
we do what we want to do on our terms. So nobody's telling us what to do. So we're getting into a Comic Palooza season.
That's what I was going to say, man.
Are you shit? We signed up again?
We have not. We haven't pitched them an idea, but Carrie's pretty cool.
Again.
We can, as long as we tell them hey, we want to do another panel. Yeah. Our panel last year was
solid.
I mean, it was solid as fuck. I mean,
I definitely get more.
We really need to come correct
organized.
this year
this time.
I don't think,
Sure.
dude. We were really organized.
No,
we had a fucking spinning
I
wheel
fucked
and
up.
everything.
I fucked up. On
No,
certain
it wasn't
things,
you.
But
I don't think it was you. Was the problem last year? But anyway, we
yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is. But no, live and learn.
Live and
I mean,
learn.
we'll do our best.
exactly. And I think
I'll
that,
do my best.
I think that this year, like we'll have another. I think we should have another really good panel that kind of. I mean, Carrie last year really wanted us to tie into like the kind of the thing that they were doing with the Animaniacs, and they really haven't announced like who the headliner is for Comic Palooza this year. But I think with everything that's been going on this past year, as far as like pop culture and Comic Palooza and stuff goes. I really think...
A drum off.
No,
A
not
drum off.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. Come on.
I think we should do like maybe like something with Star Wars, Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
Mandalorian is big news,
Yeah.
man. Like
And we were going to touch on that tonight, but
we got time. We got
We-
20
we-
minutes.
we-
Let's touch on. Let's touch on the Mandalorian.
We got Dr. Phil in here and shit.
Hey
you
man,
know,
this is
shit,
what
man.
happens. We haven't talked in a month, and like
Yeah,
this,
no,
you know,
yeah.
we rolled with no subject matter for tonight, no fourth, and this is what happens. You know what I mean? Like when we invite somebody to come on the podcast, and you guys probably don't know this, but their first question is, "What's the topic?" And when we say we don't have one, they're like, "I don't want to come on." So you know what I
Too
mean?
late. You're here.
I mean, and that's how I get Ryan on here all the time. Is I make up a topic, and then like when we come on the podcast,
fucking
he's
bait
like,
him.
he's like, what do you mean we're not fucking talking about comic books? That's what we said we were talking about.
We need to get a comic book
Yeah, we do
episode
need
with
to
that
get a
guy.
comic book episode because he's been bugging the fuck out of me about it. So
Yeah.
Again? No, I was joking.
anyway, so all right, well, let's not without
any
any
more time?
further ado.
Yeah.
The fucking Mandalorian, like out of nowhere. I mean, not out of nowhere. It was one of the most anticipated shows of the year when Disney Plus dropped in November. Did not disappoint. I was not aware when Disney Plus dropped that they were doing a week by week episode drop.
Me either.
I thought
it was
that
all-
I thought it was going to be, but you know what? I gotten used to the Netflix style, like binge it all the day that it drops.
Yeah.
I kind of liked,
No, I
like
liked it.
not. I
Wait.
liked
I
the
don't
wait.
mind wait. You know, the thing is like I don't know how many times I said it in the previous episodes. Like I look forward, like growing up, I looked forward to TGIF on Fridays. Man, it was the greatest. Now this is the closest thing I get to that. Getting off work, fucking The Mandalorian was on Fridays.
Yeah, on Friday,
Yeah.
but it launched
And look
right first
forward-
thing in the morning. So like
looking
I would
forward
do
to
my
it.
morning meetings for work, and then I would just watch the fucking
Nice.
Mandalorian.
All right, I got.
All right, guys,
shit
I
to do.
got shit to do. Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of fucking
A
work.
lot of work to do. I mean, the Mandalorian is everything that a Star Wars show should be, and a lot of people were, or not a lot of people, but some people were complaining that it was really slow paced. But to be honest with you, like, I think it was just the right pace.
pace,
yeah.
it
I'd
was
say
it was
same.
like some of the episodes were they built, and not every episode was just like balls out for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? There was some good character. Man, they've really like they've really developed this character of man, and this is the Star Wars geek in me, and I feel so bad.
Jaren,
I
I forgot his name too.
I did too. I had, and that's I
Something
feel
Jaren, I believe.
I feel like a fucking shithead because I can't.
Hey, man,
I
you're
can't.
you're a couple beers deep in, so
Yeah,
it's
but
you're-
I mean, they got like
forgiven.
Gina Carano's character is. I mean, that's going to be a great recurring character. I mean, they
Well,
came
what are
out.
your thoughts on episode 1 where, or the first episode, not episode 1, but the first episode of Mandalorian when they did that, when he kills
IG-11?
IG-11 and they reveal the Baby Yoda. What were your thoughts on that?
Correct yourself, sir. It is not Baby Yoda.
Baby
The
Yoda
character,
species.
the character is
Whatever.
known as the child.
Okay, but whatever.
When they revealed it, I was kind of taken aback, to be honest with you. And
You're like, or
no, I was kind of like, well, how do I feel about this? And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, there's a lot of stuff in Star Wars that is just, I mean, if you've read any of the extended universe or studied any kind of Star Wars lore in general, like there's a lot of like very minor characters that are, played out a lot. There's even Boba Fett, who has a very small role I mean,
Empire,
honestly, in Empire and Jedi, very small role, very supportive role. But like he's a huge character that has. I mean, they've drawn him out. They pulled him. They pulled him into Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. With all that, and the extended universe has multiple books on Boba Fett. Tales from Jabba's Palace talks about, there's a book called Tales from Jabba's Palace.
It's an adult magazine. It's an adult magazine.
Hilarious. Tales of Jabba's Palace. Well, I mean, it sounds interesting too, but it sounds funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of extended universe stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a book of I mean, it's just things that happen at Jabba's Palace. It's different short stories compiled into a book, and there's another book called Tales of the Bounty Hunters, and I mean, there's all kinds of stuff like that.
The story is like never ending, man.
Yeah, exactly. But now that's all like Disney. Now that Disney owns it, those are Star
never
Wars.
Gonna end.
Well, now those are called Star Wars Legends. They're not canon anymore. Disney chose not to adopt those. But I mean, when I really started thinking about it, and if you really stop to think about it, like Yoda's species is one of those, and what Yoda is, and anything about it is one of those things that's. Even in the extended universe was never explained. There was another of Yoda's species called Yaddle that was there was a female of that species that was kind of very, I mean, in the big scheme of things was very briefly mentioned, but I mean, they never really talk about like what, they don't even tell you what Yoda's species is, and like a lot of other things are very, very spelled out. So when they brought that up, I was kind of like, I didn't know how to feel about it. You know what I mean? Like it kind of punched me in the gut a little bit, and I was like, how do I feel about? Are they like, is this an exploitation kind of thing? Like they're just trying to hook the original trilogy fans,
right?
But when as a true fan, I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? This is in true Star Wars fashion. Like this is kind of what the saga and the story needs. Yeah. It's like it's something familiar with a Mandalorian, visually familiar with a Mandalorian, even though Boba Fett and Jango Fett are not actually Mandalorians.
Right.
But I mean, you start to get more of the Mandalorian lore, and it starts to explain what the Mandalorians are, and kind of like they're not a race, they're a creed. Yes. Now they were originally a race. If you go back to like the extended universe, and I don't know how this will play into it, but that was kind of, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself.
What is it? This is the way, right?
Yeah, this is the way.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's. I really, really like where the series is going.
Sure,
they brought in Gus Fring.
That's true.
And
Gus Fring.
So what's funny is that in the last episode, spoiler alerts, fuck you if you haven't watched it. It's been weeks. You've got time. He cuts his way out of that TIE fighter with the Darksaber, and the Darksaber, the last we saw the Darksaber, Sabine Wren had that on Star Wars Rebels. And she was a Mandalorian, kinda, not a true Mandalorian, because
which boggles my mind is why before you leave, why not check that motherfucker is dead before you leave? I don't get it.
Because if he's not, then you've got to fight him. You can just leave and get away.
But I guess. But
here's the thing.
Fuck that. That's bullshit.
So here's the thing. The Darksaber is one of those things that like. It's one of those relics that belongs to the leader of the Mandalorians, like and so like you sit there and you wonder, like, if you watched I never watched Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated show.
That's what I'm looking
for. Or
forward
Star
to
Wars Rebels.
Watching that shit, man.
I'm watching it now.
Yeah.
I'm halfway through season 2.
Damn.
It's good. Like, it's a kid's show, it's good.
It came on MTV, I think. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was watching it late nights, and it's fucking great.
It's good.
Yeah.
Like, there's a movie that pilots into the show. It's 6 seasons, and then they have Star Wars Rebels, which takes place
after Return, right?
After Return of the Jedi, which I have to look at the timeline if Rebels takes place after.
But it's animated, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's like cartoonish.
Yeah,
like, it's not like CGI or
no. It's definitely animated.
Okay.
But what I was worried about is that, like, I would see the characters and be like, their voices don't match, and like I can't like lose
you,
myself
Rob.
in
God
it. You know what I
damn
mean?
it.
But I will tell you this. No. Let me defend that opinion.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm halfway into season 2 of Star Wars Clone Wars. None of the original actors are doing the voices for these characters. I can hardly tell.
Yeah.
I mean, they are
hooked into the
really.
story.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm in it. Like it's a great storyline. It really develops Anakin Skywalker as a character.
Yeah.
Like it really starts letting you like if you
The
just
Clone Wars is in between 2 and 3, right?
yeah, it's in between. It's because at the end of episode 2 is when the Clone Wars start.
Right.
So when you're watching the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the TV show, when you're watching episodes 1, 2, and 3, it kind of seems like Anakin's fall to the dark side is kind of forced.
Yeah.
But when you throw this Clone Wars series in there and you take that as canon and you really watch it, you start to see it a little bit more. Right. And it starts to develop that story a little bit better. His attachment issues and how he can't let go of things.
Right.
And how that leads to fear.
His
and
mom being a slave. I'm sure there's references to
there's
that.
a little bit of references to that, but like the big thing that they reference with this is his fear of loss of attachment. So they really start to develop that relationship between him and Padme a lot more. And in the Clone Wars, he has a Padawan. Ahsoka Tano, which is a fan favorite.
I heard. Like,
a lot. So he has a lot of issues, attachment issues to her. Like there's a lot of like it's a war. They're in a lot of battles and things like that. And there's a lot of situations where like
Ahsoka, is she a Jedi?
She's a Jedi Padawan. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
So like there's a lot of situations where they're like, we need to leave for the sake of the battle. Like we need to not, and then like.
I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it.
I gotta watch it.
It's
I'm watching
really
it now.
good.
That's my go-to right now. You guys fucking watch Godfather. I'm watching Clone Wars.
All right, fine. I'm already watching Clone Wars. I'm halfway into season 2. There's like 20 episodes a season. There's 6 seasons.
So, because I think I watched the first episode and like I mean when it was on MTV,
you
I
gotta
watched
watch the
Spatter,
movie.
right? But like
there's a
Count
movie
Dooku's
that leads
throughout
into
the whole
it.
because Count Dooku dies in
Episode
3.
at the
That's
very
right, at the very
beginning.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you and there, I mean, like I said, it builds a lot of story. There's a lot of episodes that are just like, well, this isn't really like important to anything, like you don't think, and then
It'll attach on to something.
Yeah,
else,
like they'll mention something in that, and you'll be like, oh, I remember them referencing that. So like, there's like
that's so fucking.
You know what I mean? Like,
bonerific, man. Like
Yeah.
you know that the fucking story's endless.
yeah,
man.
it is, and
damn
it's fucking great. Like, I mean, that's one of the things I love about Star Wars. Which, by the way, when I was at Disney World, I met Darth Vader. Me and Edie had our pictures taken with him, and I showed Darth Vader my Darth Vader Pez dispenser
how was
tattoo. He thought it was awesome. And then the girls that were working there about fucking died laughing when they realized what it was that I was showing him on my leg. They were like, it's a Pez dispenser.
That's fucking cool. I
And
mean, that's
they were
original
like,
shit.
they were like, I mean, they were laughing. They took pictures of it, and they were like, "We got to take a picture of this." And they pulled out their personal phones and took pictures of it. So,
That's fucking great, man.
yeah. So I mean, it was really cool.
Taking you to the strip club.
Like,
Like,
get
our
all
friend.
the bitches.
Our friend. Yeah, exactly. As a Pez.
They call you a
I got
loser when you
I got
walked
a Darth
away.
Vader Pez dispenser tattoo on my leg. So anyway, I mean, yeah, Star Wars, Clone Wars, great show.
Yeah.
One of the best things about Disney Plus right now.
Exactly.
But I mean, there's a lot of Star Wars is making a big comeback, and especially with Rise of. Have you seen Rise of
Not
Skywalker
yet, man. I got to cut early from work one day.
Me
I
and
know
Ryan went and
it's-
saw it opening night. You know, we go every opening.
No invite. I know. But
I might check it out tomorrow, maybe.
yeah, I'll check
I mean,
it out before the next
Godfather.
episode.
So-
we can open the next episode with a little bit of Rise.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, Rise of
I'll watch it
Skywalker.
one
I'll save my opinions for next episode. I kind of want to watch it one more time,
Okay.
but I liked it better than Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's one of those things that like this whole third trilogy kind of feels like a fight, a boxing match between Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams.
Well,
and I think
2-1 though.
And I think J.J. Abrams kind of like he hints at that.
So what is the reason why episode 8 got a different director? Like, is there a reason behind that?
No, I mean, like when you look at like take the original trilogy for example,
Okay,
4, 5, and 6.
yeah.
So, George Lucas directed the original trilogy, but he didn't direct Episode 5. He didn't direct Empire Strikes Back. Irvin Kershner
Right,
directed
and that was
Episode
the
5.
best one. No, it's up there.
It's the best one.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and say it.
Yeah,
It's-
okay. It's fucking
most
great.
Star
It's
Wars
fucking
fans
great.
will
Empire
will
Strikes
tell
Back
you
is
that
the best.
Empire is the best of the trilogy.
New
But
Hope just takes me back, as the first one,
like A New Hope sets the tone for the entire
Exactly,
saga,
I know.
and then Empire kind of turns things on its head a little bit, and you're like, well, the bad guys win at the
Well,
end.
like going back to the Mandalorian, when you go back to the Mandalorian, and when in that one episode with Bill Burr's in, and they hit the
when I saw Bill Burr on screen, I was like, "Fuck, has Paul seen this?"
Yeah.
no, but when they hit the button to get the fighters coming in.
Oh yeah.
That right there took me back to Episode 4, kind of, with those fucking what was it, the X-wing fighters coming in?
Yeah.
I take it over the Death Star when they were coming in and destroying that fucking ship or whatever it was. I forgot. That kind of
Well,
whatever.
just go on.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I mean, as far like when you go back to the original trilogy, a lot of people complain about how things were done. But I mean, Return of the Jedi was like a throwback to A New Hope. It was, we're going to go back to the same planet. We're going to turn Luke into the hero. We're going to come back and we're going to fulfill the prophecy and things like that. This new trilogy kind of feels that same way, but it's more of a disconnect between the middle episode than the second two. Because from my understanding, and I know somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong, but I don't care.
You're wrong.
From my understanding of the course of events that happened is that JJ wrote the script for Force Awakens and kind of gave a basic outline of where he wanted the rest of the trilogy to go. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm open-ending these questions. These are the things I'm setting up to answer in the next 2 episodes. Yeah. And this is how I think they should be answered. This is how I've set them up to where continuity-wise they'll make plenty of sense.
Right.
And then Rian Johnson basically got that and was like, nah, fuck you. And just kind of threw it out and made The Last Jedi. But a lot of people are like, The Last Jedi was exactly what Star Wars needed. A lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, Star Wars is kind of dated. It's just replaying the same ideas over and over again.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, The Last Jedi, differed from, they pulled out of that and they did things differently. In my opinion, personally, I think that there was way too many plot holes in that movie. Not enough things made sense, which in the original trilogy, the course of events that happened made sense.
Right.
In The Last Jedi, there was a lot of things that didn't make sense. Like, it could be easily explained away, and it seems like it was just left that way just to make a movie for whatever reason, which I didn't like. Right. And then Rise of Skywalker comes in with JJ at the helm again, and he attempts to correct all the things that Rian Johnson fucked up in The Last Jedi. Yeah. And it feels a little forced, and it takes away from the movie quite a bit, I think.
Who just pretend to sit, episode 7, 8, and 9 down
I mean, I would like to, because honestly, like, the extended universe, episode 7, 8, and 9 is the Grand Admiral Thrawn trilogy, and it's a way better story than this. Yeah. And Grand Admiral Thrawn is brought up, I think, in the end of the Clone Wars a little bit, but can't hold it.
No, man, I can't hold it. God damn it. If I go to the hospital, you're driving me.
Anyway, I mean, I think that, like, there was much better. Now that Disney's in control, like, if you keep the same people doing TV shows like The Mandalorian, and we keep doing stuff like the same writers and the way that they did like Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars, man, Mandalorian was, to me, an absolute, like, perfection.
I mean, think about it. Jon Favreau saved fucking Marvel, right?
He's saving Star Wars too.
He's saving fucking.
If I ever meet that guy, I'm sucking his dick. He can't stop.
That guy has fucking. It's crazy, man. How what he has his dick in. And
did you see who the director of that last episode was? Of The Mandalorian?
No.
You didn't watch the directing credits?
I most of them I did, but I didn't see the last one. Who was it?
Taika Waititi.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
He's the guy that directed Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
He's a Maori he's from New Zealand. So
yeah.
He did that movie What We Do in the Shadows. He's awesome. I'm a huge fan of his.
Well, speaking of directors, what did you think about that one love story episode? The love story episode.
Which love story episode?
Where, I mean, the fucking Mando goes to this planet and, like, he befriends this chick, and the chick never...
Oh, Gina Carano?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. And then he's trying to help the village fight off.
Oh, yeah.
The one that directed that was Dallas Bryce Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard. That's Ron Howard's daughter.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the weakest... I mean, I love her. I love her in all her roles. That was the weakest fucking episode. I'm sorry. I'm like, why in the fuck... I think it was episode 4 or 5. Like, why in the fuck you gonna throw a love story into this? Like,
well, you gotta do something.
No, because it was kind of a buffer. It was a huge buffer. It was just something to fill in.
But there
filler.
I mean,
filler.
Yeah.
There's always a point to every episode.
It may reference it back later.
But in that episode, there's always a point to every episode. So in that episode, the point of that episode was they found them on that planet, and she says to him, "If they found you here, they're never going to stop coming."
Right.
That was the point. That was the whole point of that episode.
Same thing when he says. Same thing when he says about the child. Right. It's like they're never going to stop coming for the child. So that's why he has to fucking unleash dick. Like, I gotta fucking, and that's why he ends up getting what's his name? Fucking, I have spoken killed. Unfortunately, poor guy.
Yeah.
I have spoken. I love that fucking
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte. Yeah, I have spoken. Every time he said that, it made me fucking laugh.
I want to get my own
take a dump.
Sperm
I have spoken.
You know what's funny? Those fucking animals that they're riding around.
Yeah, I want to get one of those. What are they called?
I don't know. But you know what?
Tadpoles,
you know what I do know?
Tadpoles?
You know what I do know? They're in season 1 of the Clone Wars. So
God,
they're old. They're old as fuck. They're 10 years old. They've been Star Wars.
I gotta
canon.
watch some Clone Wars again.
Yeah, there's stuff I'm catching in the Clone Wars. I'm like, because I've never seen it, so I'm watching it now, and I'm like, holy shit, that was in the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's super tied together. And like stuff. If you've never seen the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels, like you're watching the Mandalorian, you're like, oh, that's new. I've never seen
sense.
that. Like you're looking at, like, if you watch it, you should watch it and go watch the cartoons, because then you'll look at it and be like, oh, that's from the cartoons. It's all tied together.
That's badass.
It's pretty awesome. So,
that's badass.
I mean, that's. Did you hear about all these people that are canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions because season 1 of The Mandalorian's over?
No, fuck that.
That's stupid.
Yeah, there's so much content on there, and I'm waiting for Mighty Ducks to be released because it's on the catalog, but it's not. You can't even view it yet.
That's what sucks.
I'm waiting for Angels in the Outfield, man. I mean,
there's a lot of stuff that they have licensed to other streaming services right now.
Yeah,
it's gonna take 2 or 3 years.
I watched
until all of Disney's content.
What's that? A Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah. That's on Vudu, asshole.
I watched it on Disney, so and Heavyweights recently.
Yeah, Gary Busey.
Yeah.
The Rocket.
Don't call me that. I'm not the Rocket no more. Shut up then. Yeah, go sing a fucking Buddy Holly fucking song or whatever he did.
I watched Iron Will recently. It's the dog sledding.
What the fuck? Oh. Is Iron Giant on
I don't think
Disney
so.
Plus?
I don't know. Is that Disney? I don't know. Maybe.
I think so.
But it's
my daughter's having a sleeplay tonight with her friends, and they are watching Cool Runnings.
Damn Cool Runnings, friend.
No, I recently watched Plane, Trains, and Automobiles.
The rhythm.
I've never seen it.
Feel the rhyme. Get on up. Bobsled time.
I think that was I don't know if that was his last film.
Who, John Candy?
Yeah.
I thought Home Alone was his last film.
No.
Because Cool Runnings was 93. Home Alone was 94.
No, Home Alone was 90.
93.
Was it?
Yeah.
Cool Runnings was 93. I just looked it up earlier.
Yeah, I think Cool Runnings was his last film. No, his last film was he never finished. That's right. It was after Cool Runnings.
Canadian Bacon.
Yeah.
No.
It's something else. It's like
Wagons East. See, I watched
Wagons East. That's the one. Yes.
I watched. I saw it. It was.
Isn't Chris Farley in Wagons East?
No, you're thinking about that's the one. The last one we did. Our Almost Heroes. Are you talking about that?
Oh yeah,
that was his last film with
was
him,
that
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
I saw that where they're racing Lewis and Clark.
It's stupid. It's pretty bad. I saw this one. It was a clip on my recommended on YouTube. It was I never heard of it. I never heard of it. It was called Nothing But Trouble. Have you heard of that movie?
I have heard of it.
You know, it's with
John
Dan
Candy,
Aykroyd,
Dan Aykroyd,
and
Chevy Chase,
and the hot young Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Oh
and,
my
and
God.
Where they get arrested. You know who else is in that movie? There's a
I recognize some other character actors in there. Oh,
yeah.
Tupac's in there too.
Yeah, Tupac's in there, and
Yeah.
the guy that does the Humpty dance. We've talked about this on the podcast before.
Really?
The Humpty dance is your
Maybe. I don't
chance to
remember
do the
that.
hump. He's in front of the judge. You know, 'cause
Yeah,
Dan Aykroyd plays a judge.
So have you seen that movie? Then?
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
I never heard. It's a fucking weird. I
I
watched,
told y'all to watch
Oh.
that movie like a year ago.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, it was on YouTube. I watched it on YouTube. So but, you know, somebody put it on
It's kind
YouTube.
of right along the lines of what's that Tom Hanks movie? Not Suburbia, but it's
It's got that weird. It's weird.
with
It's
his
like,
weird neighbors. What's that? What's the name of that
But
fucking movie?
It's weird because like it's they're coming off as like, you know, it's a comedy, but it's kind of disturbing at the same time. Some of the shit that's going
It's
on,
real
like
disturbing.
it's really like the characters and the I don't know if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It is Jacob. Have you heard of this movie called Nothing But Trouble?
We've talked about it on the podcast.
I don't know
before.
if he's.
I tried to get you guys to watch it, but you didn't watch
that
it.
completely blurred. I don't remember having that conversation.
No, never seen.
I watched it on YouTube, but it's with
The Burbs.
John Candy.
The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Yes,
I love that movie.
It's kind of Nothing But Trouble's right along the lines of the Burbs.
With Donatello. What's his name?
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman. Yeah.
I've heard of the
Donatello.
Burbs. I never seen
Nobody
it.
relates Corey Feldman to Donatello. I love that.
He only did like number one or two.
Only one. Only
Yeah,
number
yeah,
one.
Yeah. Corey
Yeah,
Feldman.
it's a.
The
Dad,
Burbs is a great fucking
Dan
movie. I love that
Aykroyd.
movie.
It's so
Carrie
ugly
Fisher's
in this
in it, too.
movie.
Oh, he is. Where he takes his nose off
Yeah,
and shit.
it's
Like
so
yeah.
nasty.
It's weird. When they swim across the moat of
Yeah.
piss. That's
Oh
so gross.
God, it was just.
I saw that movie
was
so
a
many times at my grandma's house when I was
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
And
It's a fucking
I know
weird
that's
movie.
weird, but like my aunt is only my aunt, who's my grandma's daughter.
Right.
My aunt's only 4 years older than me. So like
Damn.
I would spend the night at my grandma's house when I was 10, but my aunt was 14.
Yeah.
So like some of
Ultra
those
big.
movies and stuff like that were early 90s. So like she had them on VHS and
Yeah.
stuff.
I'll do you one better.
That's
My
crazy.
aunt's gay, and she introduced me to the Playboy channel. Yeah. Well, another topic for another episode. yeah.
Go all night about that.
This is how you watch the Spice Channel.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Spice Channel, baby. Scramble after 10 o'clock, the sound comes on.
Oh, yeah.
Those were
Ultra-
the days.
That's a Justin Laverne style right there, baby. Ultra
my
90s.
God, man.
Justin, if you're listening, we want you back on, but we won't talk about the 90s.
He's going to bait you, Justin. Don't do it.
We'll just talk about Enemy of the State, which
Masturbating.
was released in '98.
Nice.
Enemy of the State. Is that the one with Will Smith or Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, Will Smith.
Will Smith and Gene Hackman, right?
Yeah, that's a great fucking movie.
great movie.
Great fucking
Top 10
movie.
for me.
Top 10, really?
I know
There's a
it's-
lot of great actors in there before their time.
Fucking
Fucking
John
Jack,
Voight,
Have you ever seen
Jack,
Jack
Black,
Black,
fucking Seth
Seth
Green.
Green.
Have you seen,
what's his name?
the one that's married
Jamie
to
Kennedy. Barry Pepper's in there.
Momoa? What's her name?
Jason Momoa?
Yeah, the one that's dating Jason Momoa. What's
I
her
don't
name?
fucking know.
Oh, what?
Yeah, the one that's dating Jason
I don't-
Momoa.
oh.
Will Smith's ex-girlfriend in
Jada
that.
Pinkett?
Oh,
No.
Regina King.
No, that's his wife in that
Oh.
movie. But the girl from Cosby Show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
she's
know who you're
beautiful.
talking about. She was in High Fidelity. What's her fucking name? She's real weird, hippie chick.
Yeah, hippie chick from fucking Cosby Show.
Fuck.
Enemy of the State. Obviously, she gets murdered.
Lisa.
Monet? Is that
Yeah,
her name?
yeah,
Yeah.
Monet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Lisa Monet.
28-12. Time's up. 4 minutes in the fourth
Nobody
quarter.
gives a fuck.
I care. Tennessee time. I went to go see Ryan Tannehill at A&M. So
I don't know what that
I am
means.
kind of rooting for Tennessee.
Um,
And your dad will love Tennessee because he loves
whatever.
A&M.
He doesn't
Ryan
give a shit.
Tannehill. I'm just saying, tell your dad.
Oh, he knows,
Yeah, he
dude.
knows.
If it has anything to do with A&M, my dad's dick is hard, so he knows about it.
I'm sure he's going for Italians then.
So, speaking of, I don't know why I thought of this, but this is kind of a prelude. If you're listening, this is kind of a hint to our next episode.
Yes.
Hint, kind of. But coming up, I think it's next month, or is it the month after that? Royal Rumble is back in Houston, for the first time in like 15 years, 10 years, 15 years, something like that.
I don't even know Royal Rumble's ever been in Houston. I know WrestleMania has. And that's going to be a question that we should throw.
Royal Rumble's always in January, isn't it? Right? The beginning?
January, February. Yes.
Yeah, because I have tickets.
You have tickets?
Yeah,
Fuck you.
So
how do you get tickets?
Nice.
Well, we bought Brian.
That sounds
Brian
like
and
fun.
I bought tickets. We bought Ryan a ticket for his birthday.
That's badass.
So like the three of us were gonna go, and then we found out like we bought the tickets, and then we were gonna tell Ryan like we went to go see Rise of Skywalker, which it came out like 3 days before his birthday. So like that was his birthday, like our get together hang. The three of us have been best friends since we were in high school. Yeah. So we're like. We bought tickets to go see Royal Rumble, but we talked to your wife, and she said that you already have floor seats.
Nice.
What the fuck?
He has floor seats. We already bought him a fucking ticket, and they're not fucking floor seats. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So
fucking Ryan,
I know.
that's impressive.
Nice.
And he was like, "I'm blown away that you guys would buy me Royal Rumble tickets." And I was like, "But we don't have floor seats, so." I guess we're taking somebody else, and like you're gonna have fun in your floor seats.
So no shit, that's fucking crazy. Damn, yeah.
I haven't been to It's been years
you
since
bought
I've
Ryan
been to a wrestling show.
Royal Rumble tickets. I wonder what you got Paul for his birthday.
No, don't worry about it. I got me a shirt.
I got him a shirt from fucking
good.
Simpsons
I'll
World
take it.
that says
Awesome.
"Binge responsibly," and it has a bunch of pictures of Duff Beer on it.
So
It's an awesome shirt.
So
Thank
with
you.
that being
wear that
mentioned,
shit
with
with
that being
pride.
mentioned, with that being mentioned, get ready for the next episode because
Yeah,
it's a little tickle. Yeah, it's a
little tickle.
Yeah.
And I feel hashtag blessed that we were able to secure this next episode.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think that this is going to be a good episode. I hope that it comes like if it comes through the way that I hope it does.
It's gonna be physical, by the way.
It's gonna be physical for sure.
Maybe this will be the end of this table.
That's
That's how we get a new table.
Yeah. So
anyway,
get ready. It's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a double Ryan on next episode.
Double Ryan.
Landrum's a huge
fan of the subject. Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Get him in.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We just passed the. We're pushing the 2-hour mark here, so I think we're done for time on this episode. We could probably go on for another 30 or 45 minutes, but.
Well, you got to make the first episode like really strong or lengthy, whatever.
That's saying you can't just stroke the shaft all the time. Sometimes you got to fondle the balls a little.
If you're listening this far along, just get ready because
2020 is our year. Hashtag blessed.
And no class is going to make an impact on Comic Palooza one way or another.
Yeah, we're either going to get arrested, kicked out, or set something on fire.
I'm gonna be drunk or high. Can't wait.
Wow.
Well, that's every year.
That's true. That is true.
28-12. Tennessee's up 2 minutes in.
Oh, Jesus
Fourth
Christ.
quarter. Tennessee's
And
gonna
on
win this.
that note,
I'm Jake, guys.
Yeah, I'm fucking Paul. Right.
and I'm Rob.
Like it or not. I'm going back to the beginning. Like it or not, gentle ladies or gentlemen.
No.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Yeah.
we will call this a night. Thank you for sitting through our bullshit.
Yeah.
Our good
Happy
fans
New
of Gentlemen
Year.
No Class.
New
Happy New
Year's.
Year. Big shout out. Thanks again to HC Universal Network for putting up with all of our bullshit.
Yeah.
And our good friends over at Eureka Heights, who are
Very nice.
You know, I talked to Evan about we're gonna do some more stuff with Eureka Heights this year because
Yeah, summer events. Man.
yeah,
That'd be
well,
fun.
I've talked to Evan about getting us over there for some more stuff. He wants to hire my band over there to do some stuff.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah.
I've told him, I was like, you have free hosting.
Wow.
Give your guys the night off. Like, we'll just tell me, and like we'll come over there and host events and stuff like that, and stuff that you guys are already doing. And like, just let us slap our logo feces on there. And if you ever get if you get a chance to go by Eureka Heights, I don't know if they're going to display it. we got them a little joint venture present. I haven't given it to them yet. It hasn't showed up here yet. It's taken an extraordinarily long amount of time for it to come in. But hopefully, Evan said he'll display it prominently whenever he gets it. So hopefully when you get over there and you see it, just kiss your hand and tap it, hashtag blessed.
Yeah. Or take a picture with it.
Yeah, take a picture with it.
That'd
That'd
be
be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking sexfully.
Sexually.
It don't make any sense, but yeah.
Anyway.
It's a long sign up, but yeah.
Futurama.
Very sexually, yes.
More sexually.
Anyway. Thank you guys for sitting with us. We have been Gentlemen
Kiff.
No Class. We will see you. Don't start.
What? I want to name my new dog Kiff.
Oh, Futurama Kiff.
Yeah, Kiff, yeah.
All right.
Name him Kiff.
Nice.
We're not starting a new subject.
I'm sorry.
That's for next time.
I love you.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Gentlemen No Class is proud to be a part of the HC Universal Network. Gentlemen No Class is produced and recorded at M5 Studios and is mixed and edited by Final Curtain Media.